自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取って今日という日を祝って笑って愛して光になるから行動ならして消えない傷を抱えていても眠れない骨に噛んでいても君に似合う笑顔を探す期待していてよ飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今は生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いを楽しいことを選んでいこうやりたいことを全部やろう悩むことは何もないよ惑う暇はない光あれと願うそう暗闇打ち抜いてアップルパイ片手にねどこまでも行けそうずっと夢から覚めないこのまま気づいて私の翼で壊して描いた空飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今は生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じてほら飛び立つ空に祈り打ち放て目覚めた命今は生きるんだ守れるものはこの瞬間だけ一緒に行こう私を信じて声が聞こえた未来へこのきらめきは誰も消せないよ守れるのなら引き金を引こう祝福をしよう新たな願いをほら自由に羽ばたいてこの希望を装填して大丈夫このままさあ私の手を取ってほら
Testing, mic check. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns. Hello, hello, friendos. My name is Nez, and we are once again back at it again for some more Arknights because we're back. We're ready to continue our story reading for the Master's Travels. A lot of shit happened last time. I've had some time to ruminate on the recent developments in the event. So far, everything has seemingly been a huge genjutsu, just one big illusion over Laterano, which explains how a big-ass building like the Shrine of Nurtury appeared out of nowhere and is affecting every citizen's perception on what happened. What is this? Why is there mail? Why is my mail lit up and yet there's nothing to collect? Hello? Yes, I know the limited headhunting went away. There we go. So everything's been a big illusion. I'm now questioning who and what and where was whatever real in the past few chapters. I'm pretty sure Exia is real. I don't know if the Summit of Nations is real. I don't know if the whole nativity was real. Seemingly they gave so much importance to it that we had a whole CG scene with the newborn with their halo and shit. I guess we'll find out. Aside from that, we gotta address the elephant in the room. Non-Sanctons are getting halos? Question mark? Which, come to think of it, I did finally remember all the way back during the Enfield beta tests that in Enfield, thousands of years into the future, there are quote-unquote Sanctons with halos, but they don't have wings. So I just remembered that. Like 5 minutes before the stream started, I remembered that in Enfield, there are Sanctons without wings. I don't know what the connection is with this event, but so far we've seen our first quote-unquote Sancton. It's a feather beast. A Sancton feather beast with a halo. And it didn't develop wings. At least, the wings that we know Sanctons have. Are we truly reverting back to TCAS? Or are we just giving everyone halos, no strings attached? I don't know. Aside from that, Executor and Arturia, the two saints, have finally made it back to Laterano. Manwa Man was getting in their way, but they're starting to piece together that something isn't right with Laterano. Exia finally met up with her sister, apparently trying to set up bombs inside the Shrine of Nurtury during the Nativity. Didn't go off though. Exia has been... Excuse me, I'm gonna burp. Exia has been captured by Grandpappy. Meanwhile, Fiametta and Musima are down in the church pews, just having a bit of an empathy-gasm by experiencing the birth. Everyone in the church experienced the birth of the Feather Beast. That's gotta be wild. They didn't really get into the whole, what happens if we experience the death of another empathic being? Whoop, okay, just glossed over it. We just experienced them birthing. I think the birthing took more precedence than oh wait, no, never mind. They explained it. I think the mother died before the empathy started echoing, and they were only experiencing the heartbeat of the baby. Yeah. They weren't experiencing the birth, they were experiencing birth itself. The birth of the baby, and it came out stillborn and then was brought back to life by being given a halo by Matriarch. There's nothing sinister about the Matriarch, dog. Absolutely nothing sinister. And with that said, it is time to get right back into the thick of things. Where did we stop? We stopped at MTSC2. Let us continue with MTSD5. May our halos be shared. May our Lord share the blessings with all. What's the law planning? Who is behind the scenes trying to get Exia to do a little bit of terrorism as a treat? Who is behind the confessional trying to get Exia to bomb the Shrine of Nurture in the Nativity? Meanwhile, back in Kazdil... Slow down. You got a death wish or something? We're carrying a damned Originium plate. We're all dead if you drop it. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with this family? Using this as a pickling stone. Do they like their pickles with a touch of Originium?
Shut your fucking mouth and keep moving. We gotta clear this whole district before the end of the day. Unless you want the overseer to chew our heads off after the Lich choose his.
So many houses. We got to clean every single speck of Originium off them. Doesn't Babel have a dedicated construction team? Why don't we just tear it all down and rebuild from scratch? Hey, that's gotta take some getting used to, not having, any Originium around. Kazdil is finally getting cleaned up after Rhodes and Babel returned? Dang. What's up, Hermit? Rip Exia banner. At least we got Exia at the start of the event. It's gone now, though. We are currently starting off the event. Meanwhile, back in Kazdil.
I said shut your fucking mouth. We didn't have a choice but to rely on the mines. Now that Kazdil doesn't need to worry about energy anymore, of course we got a clean house. Unless you like living in a den of Originium. Hey, watch where you're going, Lich.
Keep your threads tucked away, Lich. Who knows what might happen if they got tied up in the Originium? That's not very polite. Is this a Lich that we know of? Is it Erdengard? Yep. When will you, Ermengarde? When will you become playable? You can cut the threads with your horns if they do get tied up, but who knows what dimension my thread will drag you into if it comes to that? Alright, I don't think I should scare you any further, gentlemen. Go ahead. Did I imagine it? What's that light?
It came from the house up ahead. Let's take a look.
I'll go.
What?
Oh, right. Someone still died of neuropathy. That was a neuropathy death. Those houses are right by the agricultural plate that has just been integrated. The light must be from one of the soil beacons in reaction to the originium plate that you're carrying. Okay, not a death. If Wishadel finds out the farmland that she spent 2 years cultivating got polluted.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Or maybe she's just lying, so that they don't have to see an originium death. What's in the silo? Oh! Never mind. Right. I forgot these two were hiding out in Kazdil. Don't come any closer. Ugh. And we're in the middle of Ezel being fallen. So, we don't exactly know when this takes place, whether it's before or after the event. But going by string of events, we're gonna assume that it came before, and that everyone outside of Laterano, every Sancta outside of Laterano is falling. Otherwise, if it takes place after the event ends and whatever goes on in Laterano, this is the end goal of what happens. Ermengarde looks at the agitated girl standing in front of her, trying to shield the man behind her with her tiny body. It's a Sancta man kneeling feebly on the ground. His halo and wings have shattered, their pieces still trembling and flickering like dying fireflies. The Sancta does not speak. It is as though he has fallen into a deep slumber. Wait, what? Who are you? Are you here to take us away? The girl is all tense up. Ermengarde bends down and puts her hands on her knees, doing her best to show that she intends no harm, even wagging her energized tail friendly. I mean no harm, young lady. I sent the other Sarkaz away. Did you hear that? Maybe I can help you. Help him. Ermengarde closes the door behind her, shutting out any prying eyes. She adjusts her hat. Invisible threads reach out through an unknowable dimension. Ooh, pocket dimension. She has a tail, which we've never seen before, that is right. Is she a thick tail or a thin tail? That's the most important question. Master?
All that red tape and long-winded tomes in the spires made me sick. But I should thank the twin sheep for their hospitality, compared to what I have to deal with now. Every policy has to be communicated verbally, and you have to explain things over and over again. When are we going to implement basic education for government employees?
The Liches have their hands full after finally returning to Kazdel. This is urgent.
Go ahead.
I'm at the furnace node. I found 2 Sanctus with broken halos. One of them doesn't look right at all.
Bring them here. Try not to let anyone see you. We don't need a scene on the streets. I'll go and wake Wishadel. Looks like it's time for a speaker to speak at an emergency meeting.
Classic Fremen. Meanwhile, back in Lithania, my other Dami Mommy! Half the Dami Mommy twins at least can grace us with their presence. How long has it been since the Lithanian event? Surely we would have rescued the Goth one from the void by now. The list is a long one. You're saying that all 43 Sanctas stationed at spires across Villingstern have abandoned their posts without permission? Yes, every Gegnade. I'm not German. They've already left Lithanian soil, forcing their way through the checkpoint at the Erdenhir border. Okay, so we did also make this assumption last time that if the global falling of Sanctas happened before the event starts, it means that the masses travels would be Sanctans making a pilgrimage back to Laterano because their halos and wings broke. Lithanian took in these Erhari as an act of kindness. Now they have chosen desertion without any warning. Not entirely. The night watch of the Reich Music Koch schedule witnessed a Sancta scholar leaving and noted that his halo and wings were shattered, as if there was a serious accident. A fallen. The symptoms do not align exactly. Yeah, if they were fallen, they would develop TCAS features. These are just their halos and wings breaking. I don't think they're reverting to TCAS. Are you asking for my opinion? Of course I am. You are the mouth of the austere authority, Michael Wolfgang. You're the only one who can speak with their voice in this realm, besides me. No! The Goth Dommy Mommy Twin Empress is still in the void, dog. We left her there for 2 years. Well, you've grown in the past few years, both physically and mentally. Hildegard has taught you well. I must commend you for making the report that you did. You have in effect admitted that you have access to certain exceptional channels. The Sanctas of Lithanian have fallen and deserted en masse. This is a serious matter. You are the only one capable of dealing it. Not day. I know that you, the Erdika boy, and even that Grafkin are doing a few things under the surface. As a reward, I'm willing to turn the blind eye to that. Now back to the topic at hand. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm just thinking about something. They implied the Summit of Nations is happening during the event, and that both the Twin Empresses, emphasis on both the Twin Empresses, are apparently there for the Summit of Nations. We know that Goth Mommy is still in the void. It's confirmed that she's still in the void, so who the fuck is at the Summit of Nations? The border guard reports that they seem to be headed for Laterano. It's likely the Lateran Curia is involved. Shall we send the Empress's voice to confront the Curia? You think the Sancta were just hallucinating? Yeah, it seemed like there was a whole genjutsu all around Laterano. I'm still questioning what is and isn't real from all the events that have already taken place. 1 year ago, after Das Kaisernfest, Evangelista the 11th, communicated to me that he wishes to work hand in hand with Lithanian. The anomalous circumstances with the Sanctas may indicate that the calamity the Pope had feared so much that he would seek our help has come at last. Issue an edict, in the name of eternal grace and austere authority, to summon the best casters and scholars among the spires. Calamity will spare no corner of this great land. We must hasten our studies into the secret retrieved from the chaos. Yes, Your Majesty. I will arrange for it at once. Perhaps not entirely at once. What I mean is, I will instruct the Empress's voice too. The eventide is beautiful tonight, Michael. Stay and enjoy it with me. The wound in the sky has healed. She would have appreciated this too, would she not? Stop putting salt into the wound! What do you mean the sky hole is gone? You have to find some way back into the void. Wait, no. We have a Stargate. We have a Stargate that we have yet to use. Also, Ursula. Ursula, the Sky Whale, back in Kazdel, also has the ability to traverse the void. There are ways we could bring her back, but also, the Sanguinarch is also still in the void. So I don't know what those two are doing. But it's a 50-50 chance we run into one of them if we go back in there. And we're back with Aurelia. the fallen gun knight, the other dummy mommy. There are a lot of dummy mommies in this event. East of La Unidad, Laterano, holy city of white. The guns there shoot fireworks at targets, all apples. When we pray sincere, he gives us bread. When we seek salvation, he sets us free. Sing, sing until you're asleep. The god in your dreams is kinder than Laterano's. Grace Bearer. Last time we saw you were at an... Oh yeah, right. You two are from the same abbey. Right. You didn't need to go this far on the night watch, Aurelia. Get lost. This is the Minoan border. Those Singus nobles won't go any further. You're safe. The abbey is no more. We go our separate ways. What happened to the abbey? Last time we saw Grace Bearer and the others. Even the Sanctons in the abbey. Their wings and halos were starting to shatter. 10 years ago, you came to my abbey and protected my plate from those nobles without a word. Now you're leaving without a word. You preach your teachings. I protected the kids in exchange for a new roof over my head. That is all. Don't think too much of yourself. You can't leave, Aurelia. I'm not asking. Our destination is the same. We'll go with you to Laterano. And when did I say I was bringing you with me? We've been together for 10 years. It's a long time for Kukulkan. Maybe I don't trust Laterano that much, but I do trust you. Lateran stripped you of citizenship, and you've cursed the city many times while I sang the hymns. But look at yourself. After all these years in Bolivar, you still won't take off that gun knight's armor. Even though you've fallen, lost the ability to wield a patron firearm, you somehow got your hands on the black steel gun, which means you never... Shut up. Black steel gun? That's like a black steel bazooka. The fallen angel suddenly raises her gun, the muzzle almost reaching the Kukulkan's lips. If you trust me, you should remember that I've told you many times. The holy city is not so friendly, kind, or tolerant as you imagine. Half the people who followed you from the abbey are not Sancta. There are plenty of places you could go after leaving Bolivar. Perhaps what we follow is not the true Lateran faith, but it's what kept a modicum of order in our lives amidst the chaos in Bolivar. Is this Yuri? There's no way I can convince the others to go somewhere else. They want to make the pilgrimage. Okay, so this is the masses travels. Our first assumption was correct. Or it seems to be correct. That the shattering happened before the start of the event, or during, and that Sanctons are making a pilgrimage back to Laterano to do something about their halos and wings. Nor can I convince myself Laterano is a part of us now after these long years. You've got to be kidding. Think of the Sanctus in the Abbey. They've never known Laterano, only the trauma of the fall. Only by returning to Laterano will they know what happened. Only then will the fear be driven out. Only then can their sickness be cured. Let us walk together for a little while longer, Aurelia. I'm not going back to Laterano because I miss home. 10 years ago, an old man said something like this to me at another abbey. He was the one who exiled me in the name of Laterano because of some silly mistake. Okay, Grandpappy McSaparado, you gotta deal with this baggage. He wanted to hear me repent, hear me pray. He said there was a chance I could go back if I truly, sincerely repented for my sins. You refused? I sure did. Based. Something seems to have gone really wrong in the holy city. I'm going to seize this chance for revenge. Whoa, 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 whoa! Unfortunately, Aurelia, Grandpappy's a playable character now. He has plot armor. Nueda steps forward and presses her face against the cold gun barrel. We won't stop you. We just need a guide. Someone who knows the way. Someone like you. The hymns begin to die down, replaced by the sound of children crying out. Aurelia lets out a laugh and puts away her gun. No flashback to Black Steel? They flash back to practically everyone we had an early scene with except Cliff Clip. Meanwhile, within the Genjutsu, we have the two saints. And the church step has begun. What is going on here? Hello? Biblically accurate angel? The Shrine of Nurtury smears its colors on the surrounding buildings, opening numerous portals through which strange creatures with halos emerge one by one, falling to the ground. Did those things get the blessing of Laterano too? It wasn't just the baby arbor beast. Claps excitedly. Why does a fucking seal have a halo? Enlightened creature. Sways uncertainly. They crawl on the ground, wagging their heads furiously. Still trying to adjust to their halos, they bellow in a low rhythmic voice, as if joining together in prayer. That's one ugly creature. Chaotic voice of the heart.
If everyone in the holy city has fallen into a sort of mass hallucination of an unknown source, does the scene before us mean that the boundary between reality and falsehood is being blurred, and that Laterano is being invaded by a material threat? This is even more incomprehensible than what we've experienced in the pavilion.
One of them has noticed us, Fede. The seal? Should we be afraid of the seal? The noise we made seems to have disrupted their ritual. An enlightened creature turns towards Federico and Arturia, perhaps because it missed part of the prayer. Its halo flashes, and its bloated hide seems to grow light and lithe, approaching the duo at high speed. High speed seal! Federico raises his gun, but the halo-adorned creature pays no heed, not even stopping its prayer.
Fall back. The nature of these creatures yet unknown. We must not be surrounded.
I thought you would shoot without hesitation. Are these creatures our kin, Fede? Are you in violation of the law if you shoot it?
Is that a joke, or simply an ill-timed curiosity? Your patron firearm is lost, and I can neutralize these creatures without discharging mine. We will determine whether they should be considered our kindred, but not now.
Perhaps there is someone who can answer our questions.
Pope Evangelista the 11th. Move!
Alright. So Delusion has at least worn off for the Saints. I don't know if everyone inside the shrine can see the illusion breaking. Guess we'll find out. And where have the people gone? This is a whole ass populated city. An urban center of activity. What the fuck? Hey, yo. That's a weird ass sprite. It had a tail? It's part of the thick tail gang? Right. So this was the feather beast that grew a halo. Such a sound. Do not fear, child. That's Jesus.
Matriarch. You too, nurturer. Thank you for your work. I simply did what I could.
The child is still weak. Take him back to his mother, Anduin. Huh? I thought the mother passed away during the birth. I will come and find you.
You seem unwell, matriarch. Should I escort you to your apartments?
Oh, wait. Was it implied that... Oh, okay, I see it now. When the people collectively experience the birth and also experience the death, it was the babies, right? I just thought that both of them died. Okay, it was only the baby that was stillborn. Mother seems to be alive.
You seem unwell, matriarch. Should I escort you to your apartments?
I am fine. The heartbeat continues to echo within me. Not just the mother. I can hear countless souls and hearts resonating, so powerful it seems that they could bring down this shrine. The people have begun to link with one another, irrespective of race or background, but some have rejected the future we revealed. Rejected? Arturia and Executor? They're saints, technically. The nativity has come to an end. Our kindred need not stay here. We should prepare for the next stage.
Understood. You should retire. I'll take care of the rest.
Grandpappy, I think you might be on the wrong side. Meanwhile, Exie also got caught by the guards, and Grandpappy. Where is she?
Once again, welcome to the Shrine of Nurturing. Whether you understood the matriarch's proposal at the summit, and regardless of what you think of it, the birth and enlightenment of this arbor beast is undoubtedly a clear revelation. On how to remove the barriers between nations and races, on how to resolve hatred and bring lasting peace, on facing the calamity that hangs over our heads together.
Right. Well, everyone just needs to connect up with a halo, dog.
Beginning with the Nativity, the second Summit of Nation now enters a new stage. Laterano will share our halo with all races. May our Lord share the blessings with all.
I don't know about that. So we got delegations from all the major nations here. Sans Goth Dommy Mommy from Lithanian, although they did imply that both the twins are here somehow. At least to everyone except Executor and Arturia, the Genjutsu is still intact. So... Yameta, Mustima, over here! Wait, what? Exia? Wait, I thought you were caught. You weren't sent to Halo to Angel Prison. Lemuel, when did you come back? Why didn't you tell us? Nice outfit, huh? Including those handcuffs. Okay, never mind. I wanted to surprise you! Scratch his head. What happened, Lemwin? It's a long story. I could buy you 2 minutes, if you want to make a break for it. Sure! On second thought, maybe next time. I've caused enough trouble for my sister already. I don't think we could casually escape with a third wheel over here. Did I interrupt the reunion? Veliv? Can you take the suspect to the 7th Tribunal on your own, Cardinal Lemwin? Or do you need support? After all, attempted sabotage of the Shrine of Nurturing and the Summit of Nations is a serious charge. Finger guns, ka-chow! If you're concerned, you're free to come with us, or have the gun knight keep watch. Don't talk like that. After all, according to your conclavis Cardinal Aid Amos' testimony, you picked up Lemuel's trail at another scene beforehand. Are you saying I tried to cover for my sister? Well, not exactly. All the evidence is circumstantial and there's nothing that proves you did anything wrong. Do you recall our previous conversation in the shrine? I admire your ability and resolve greatly, Lemwin the Silent, but I also know when these virtues of yours are most prominently displayed. Besides, it's natural for us to be cautious when your sister's involved. I hope you understand. No need to worry. Letting Elle run around with all these charges against her won't help her. Of course, I'm sure the misunderstanding can be resolved as long as Lemuel cooperates.
Right. Just cooperate for now.
One moment shimmering vigil and legatus mastima. Did you change your nickname again? How many times have you changed your nickname? Shimmering Vigil. What? Please remain here at the Shrine of Nurtury. The Curia has a mission for you.
Meanwhile, Panini.
They took Elle away? After all the effort it took for Magister to get me off the hook. Come on, Vanny. Isn't there anything else you could do? She is ride or die for Exia. Damn, girl! You had 2 conversations over the past few years. And now you're this ride or die. Just because she praised the art and passion of patron firearm smithing. Don't bother knocking, Anduin. I have nothing to hide from you. The mother?
Sleeping. I brought the child. His feathers are not grown in yet, but is surprisingly lively. I thought perhaps you might want to pet him again.
Oh, thank you. It is comforting to me.
This place.
Do you remember? We built it to house the mother when we came to Laterano. It became the first nursery of the shrine.
I remember. We made this simple yet warm bed together, and hung the comfort bells that gave her restful sleep.
I'm starting to think about the origins of this matriarch. Because as far as we know, Anduin brought her back from the wilderness to Laterano. So she's not even a native Lateran. We don't even know what she is. She's way too eldritch of a being. Where did you come from? What are you? How did you gain this much control in Laterano after being an outsider beforehand? Huh. How did you rise up the ranks this quickly? How did you become such an authority here? You're not even a local. The room is no longer in use, but I come back from time to time if only for prayer. This was our starting point, yours and mine. Stretches happily. I sense that he likes this place too. His halo is so bright. I noticed it the moment you brought him here.
It is the miracle that you have long believed in. But I don't understand. What brought on the premonitions of the miracle when you first encountered the mother?
Also, I just realized, I felt like there was a puzzle missing from this entire event that I just couldn't put my finger on. And I just realized what it was. They've already mentioned it numerous times, and yet they've never been shown since the start of the event. Where the hell is the Pope? Where is Pope Evangelista the 11th? He's the highest authority in Laterano, sans the law. Where is the Pope? We're halfway through the event. We haven't seen the Pope. We've only seen the matriarch.
But I don't understand. What brought on the premonitions of the miracle when you first encountered the mother?
I had no premonitions, Anduin. I only saw your struggling heart. She was on her last legs, and what she needed was not healing, but her last rites. Yet you wanted to save her, and you would not allow the idea to be dispelled by common sense. I believe that this thought, which you protected so dearly, would create the miracle of life. Life is a wonderful thing, one that can never be measured by the confines of common sense.
Anyone would want to save her, matriarch.
Therefore, anyone can create miracles. Miracles are so because people do not believe in the power of faith. It is the halo that gives Sancta faith, or faith that gives Sancta the halo. Have you ever pondered it? Our law, empathy, and firearms, and the paradise that we built atop them, did they all arise from a blessing without a cause, a common sense would indicate?
I don't know.
The past has its beginnings, as does the future. The Shrine of Nurtury, this towering edifice, was not built in a day. It began as a simple, ordinary nursery.
Our nursery.
Did we start with the blueprints of such an imposing shrine? No. We merely wished for a safe, comfortable room for that mother. Ha! Wished. There's also one other thing that reminds me of the Shrine of Nurtury. I've said that it looks a lot like the precursor tech that they have in Aegir. But also, because Lowlight is a Destiny 2 fan, it looks like Awoken architecture from the Awoken city in Destiny 2. All I'm saying is, Lowlight is a fucking Destiny 2 fan. And yet its frenzied evolution led to what it is now. That is how a future where all are saved can sprout from our faith.
Matriarch, I followed you because I had long searched for such a future, and you happened to know the way. But I never thought, nor could I comprehend, why you believed it could begin with me.
Because you're an easily manipulated pawn, Anduin. Because you're a broken man that needed a purpose, and someone decided to fill it with faith. Your god hole was empty.
What I'm able to do is ultimately insignificant.
Insignificant trifles and grandiose feats are but a hair's breadth from one another. You have labored for many years over this grueling journey of ours. You should not let such a meaningless difference stay your steps. I will need you to lift your spirits, for aside from caring for this mother and child, there are more deeds that must be done, such as the next nativity. There are more? Are we gonna give... Is Extra next? Is she next to give birth? Meanwhile, back at Paganini, Vanini shouldn't be here.
You're early. I'm already packed. You could just stick the seals on top and I could go to bed. Patrizion!
That's not Patrizion.
Huh. I thought you were him. I was told the last part of the handover would be handled by the Notorial Hall. Why did they send gun knights?
That was assuming nothing had to be tampered with.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Both the storage room and the equipment shows signs of recent use. Cardinal Aid Amos has made it clear when he last came here. All gunsmithing operations were to cease immediately upon signing the papers. Any unauthorized work on patron firearms or explosives would be violation of the law. Oh. Right. Paganini covered for Vanini, which means the explosives.
I've had this little workshop for decades. I couldn't let it go so easily. I just wanted to hear these old boys move again one last time and shed some tears over it. Is that so wrong?
You've already said as much. Your apprentice Vanini, the one you took with you to the Shrine of Nurtury, where is she?
Must have gone back to watch the nativity. He's not a kid anymore. Besides, I don't see so well. Can't keep an eye on her all the time.
In that case, let us continue this conversation somewhere else.
What if I don't want to?
I do not wish to resort to force, unless absolutely necessary.
Ah, it was Patrician who sent you here, wasn't it? That old bastard. Come with me. Great. They're now holding Pag hostage.
Sister Hildegard? Reverend Gun Knight?
Is she not in the monastery?
Yes, but she had an accident. She's resting now.
What?
It's hard to explain. A mobile confessional suddenly showed up at the monastery yesterday. Sister Hildegard was lying inside, unconscious.
Mobile monastery? What happened to Archetto?
There was no one.
Oh yeah, right. Executor sent Archetto back. And he even used Man's credit card on the confessional. What? He had a 1-year subscription to the confessional. His friends can use it.
There was no one else. Someone had set the confessional's navigation system to bring her here. We're not sure what happened to her. Perhaps we could have her report to you once she wakes up?
This is urgent. Bring me to her.
But...
Cough cough.
It's alright, Sister Geraint. Hildegard, are you awake? The porridge! I'm fine, just a little dizzy. I ate the porridge on the table. I'm coughing because some of it went down the wrong pipe. Reverend Gun Knight, you came for Arturia, didn't you? Yes, it's true that Arturia left Landon Monastery without permission. But I went after her as soon as I found out, and I caught her, but something unexpected happened. Please give Landon Monastery a little more time. No, give me a little more time.
We would like you to come with us, Sister Hildegard.
Well, alright.
Would be best if you came too, Sister.
Me? Sister Geraint doesn't have anything to do with this. I was the one in charge of supervising Arturia. This is my fault.
No need to worry, Sister Hildegard. With a major incident like this, the Curia needs as much information as we could get. Now follow me, please.
Our main players cannot leave Laterano.
MT-6 confess. Those deep in dream return to reality, while errant angels return to their homeland. The masses travels, if you will. Finger guns, ka-chow.
Oh, is this a flashback? Hold up.
It is the greatest graduation ceremony. Wait a minute.
Is this? It is! Is this running? This is running, right? Oh yeah.
It is the greatest graduation ceremony in the history of St. Theodore's Comprehensive School. No, the greatest ever held in the entire history of Lateran education. 17 giant fireworks burst up into the air as the 17-year-old red-haired Sancta strums her strings wildly, opening her solo concert. The sound echoes through the campus, rattling the windows of nearby school buildings. The pews near the stage, statues and pool, apple pies of all kinds lie everywhere as gifts for her audience. But the entire square is empty as the red-haired Sancta plays her guitar and sings, with no teachers or students to cheer her on. It is no rare sight to see a student planning her own graduation ceremony in Laterano, but she is not even at the age to do so. She fails to get her permission to graduate early, even if she's already completed her preparatory courses for university. But what a sin to complete them without a ceremonial flair. Students open their classroom windows and watch from afar as the red-haired Sancta strums and sings without a care until her final number. Then they witness an unforgettable sight.
confessional? A procession of confessionals? The red-haired Sancta plays her last notes, bows and thanks the air. The school gates then burst open, as more than 100 automated confessionals flood into the campus. Where the audience should have been are now confessionals with their doors open, all their mobile electronic confessors joining the red-haired Sancta's performance with their volume set to maximum. Neither Laterano's largest choir nor its heaviest heavy metal band could rouse such a racket. Laterano has a culture of heavy metal bands? Finally, the Pontifica cohorts rush to restore order on the campus, as they persuade the confessionals to return to their roots. However, the instigator has long vanished from the scene, leaving only a single banner, unfolding as the last firework goes off. Let's send Lemuel off on her next adventure with a bang. Lemuel stops over at the Lateran port. Ha! So there's a saint here too. Weird how I never noticed it before. They're actually pretty nice to look at. This is her first time leaving Laterano for a place without halos, in search for people and answers. She suddenly thinks, for no particular reason, how she might not return for a long time. We're going to Longmen, baby! Didn't think they'd actually let you interrogate me, sis. Only because the previous 7 cardinals got nothing out of you. Elle, let me open this. Why is this thing wrapped so tight? Whoa! A milli fuel? Fruit tart? Bravo les lesbiennes. The 7th tribunal sure is nice as suspects. Come on, I made it myself. There's also this. Take it. What's that now? Your diploma. Her diploma? After I awakened, the head of St. Theodore's, who was also mentoring me at the time, came to see me and asked me to keep it for you. Your application to graduate was rejected, but the ceremony you put together did indeed prove your skills. It's a type of pastry. I know it's a pastry. I just don't know how to mouth it with words. After all, how could you get that many confessionals to perform with you if you weren't really familiar with their programming and the intercity net's defense patterns? She hacked into the system. So the school consulted the Curia and granted you a diploma in the end. Her graduation was rejected, but she was like, look, I could prove I could break the most important system in all of Laterano. Will you let me graduate? Fine, here's your diploma. Congratulations, Elle, even if it's a few years too late. Thanks, sis. I'm sure my letters found their way to you? Yeah. You know, I made a bet with Mama and Tata. They said you'd major in intercity net security and become an expert in the notarial hall. But I thought you'd never waste your creative mind like that. I was sure you'd major in faith assistive engineering and design a new mobile confessional that'd shock the city. We're getting new dimensions to Exia that we never knew existed. What do you mean she's kind of a genius? In the end, you left Laterano just like that. Let me be clear, sis, I don't regret it one bit. You know, I'm not the type, and I'm even less the type to let anyone hold my regrets for me. Which is why you rushed all your preparatory courses and threw that wild graduation ceremony, right? Yep. I peppered musty-mode questions about you, your work in Longmen, your boss, your co-workers. I know you went to Siracusa, to Sargon, and many more places besides. You deal with all sorts of people every day. Gangs, cops, family, Lord Zamir. You're always on the move. Why does my life sound so different after going through a Mustima filter? Well, I did live a nice life after leaving Laterano, wasn't sad or anything. I mean, you were still bedridden then, didn't know how you got hurt, if you'd ever wake up, and Mustima refused to say a word.
She didn't know. And Mustima didn't tell her.
I had to know what the heck happened. You're my sister, you know. That woman, bless her heart, kept avoiding me. I got a whole load of nothing from her. Don't blame Mustima. You know, sis, I've been through a lot these past few years. There's some stuff I would have never thought about if I stayed here. In Lungmen, Mustima was the only Sancta around, but she lost her empathy. Texas, Sora, Croissant, Bison, and the boss. At first I made friends with them the same way I did here. We're all besties now, but without empathy, I sometimes still can't help but worry about silly little things. I've been trying hard to overcome that, and every time I do so, our ties become a little stronger. But here, things are different. Like right now, I don't even have to think anything to know you want to go somewhere else to give me a big proper hug. What kind of collective has empathy turned us into? Does it make us more or less sensitive to others? Does it make us so insensitive that it's easier to accept totally outrageous change? Does this have something to do with everything you've done since you've come back? Yes? Basically, I feel like Lemon sees through the Genjutsu. Or at least, she's not under the impression that the big building has been here all along. Laterano's sick, sis, just like you were back then. We gotta wake it up. Well, you need to give me more than that. There's Pontifica Cohort's guardsmen right behind these doors, right? I heard them when I came into the room. Let me guess. Are you going to say this is your last chance or something like that? If you insist on refusing to explain why you disrupted the Summit of Nations and revealed the forces backing you, the Seventh Tribunal will have to hand you over to someone else. I don't know what kind of punishment you'll face, El. Laterano's leniency has never applied to those who violate the law, especially these days.
But she hasn't violated the law. She hasn't fallen.
Come on, apple pie with mayonnaise. What?
Oh. Vanini? What's going on? Was that an explosion downstairs? A terror attack? Are they interrogating the terrorism? Aren't they interrogating the terrorism suspect upstairs right now? Who else would dare to attack the 7th Tribunal?
Automated confessional. El Caro 001 in position.
Oh!
It's El Caro! Our partner in crime!
A mobile confessional.
Fire. The mobile confessional has weaponry! It's armed and dangerous? Gah, what's going on? Who let that in here? Did they not realize this one's malfunctioning?
That's just a mobile confessional, buddy.
Oh, it's locked and loaded. It's killing people! Yeah, who thought it'd be a good idea to put so many guns on a confessional? You mean it's not normal? Was Exia the one who decked it out? Alert! A mobile confessional is attacking us and attempting to rescue the suspect Lemuel. Calling all combat units. We need backup. I repeat. Oh, it's Vanini. Vanini decked it out. Again. Now the left staircase. Blow it up and I can slow them down a little longer. Oh my god, Vanini. Do you read me, El? I'm here to save you. Vani? Sick idea. I never expected you to find out the secret of this confessional and use it to help me out. What is the secret of that confessional? It's nothing. It took me long to finally realize there is something unusual with its plate number. I noticed it when you stopped it before, but I didn't think too much. Unusual with its plate number ELC001. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. I'm stupid. All confessionals start with LC for Laterano Automated Mobile Confessional, but This starts with ELC. Oh. Exia LC. She practically scanned the entire city, stopping confessionals one by one until I noticed her. Alright, Exia. Pontifica cohort reinforcements will be here soon, and the nursery guards will also be on the move. We need to get out now. Coming right up. Cinema! The guards respond quickly, constructing an emergency passage upstairs, assembling to face the chaos. Exia breaks the door open as the confessional speeds up towards her, blocking bullets from the Pontifica cohorts. She hops onto the vehicle and steadies herself as the confessional wobbles wildly from her landing. ELC 001 is El Caro. Are we gonna get the full... Are we gonna get... the full name of El Caro sometime? What does that mean? The Sanctor's red hair flutters between the bullets and gun smoke. Professor, wait, you've been exposed. So we can go back to normal, right? Leader, savior, doctor, you're so awesome. Wait, doctor? Wait! It was Doctor behind the confessional all along? There's 6 guns on the front outer rack. There's 3 guns in here. In here? Feel free to use them as you please. Do what you... Doctor is part of this event? Vanini switched out the bullets for non-lethal ones. As for whether they'll hurt your countrymen, I'll trust your aim. Gotcha. Talk about perfect timing. The 7th Tribunal confiscated my guns. Passages on both sides are hard to break through. We need a new escape route. Then through the windows we go. The noisier the better. We draw attention and make it easier for Vanny to slip away. You won't fall apart, will you? Hold on tight. I can't promise I won't fling you out. I'll take the wheel. You handle our tail. Doctor is the one operating El Caro? Got it. The party's about to begin, so let's show them what a perfect pair can do. Which begs the question, why is Doctor orchestrating a bombing of the Nativity if they were the ones behind Exia and backing her? You don't know how Exia manages to wield so many guns at once to suppress all the Pontifica cohorts. El Caro. Backwards. Read it backwards? Or Oracle? What? What? Doctor, what? What? No shot you fucking named this motherfucker Oracle. I hate everything about this. I hate everything about this. This is so silly. I don't actually hate everything about this. It's peak. You don't know how Exia manages to wield so many guns at once to suppress all the Pontifica cohorts guardsmen with a hail of bullets. You're also unsure if falling from a window this high will pose a problem back in reality. Back in what? Back in reality? All you do is take her and zoom to the sky. Divine judgment! Rock and roll! Barrage! Apple... never mind. Not the best place for that. No! Don't blue ball us like that! Phew! I'm beat. Finally shook off the stragglers. That was tight. Since when did they react so fast? Sure enough, you took to the roofs, Elle. Always the contrarian, ever since you were little. Sis? Uh-oh. We can't escape the sister. What's with the confessional and that girl? Oh, just good friends of mine. You said all this law-breaking is about waking Laterano up? What did Doctor know? You were never the type to talk theory or explain something away with fancy rhetoric. By wake Laterano up, you mean rouse everyone in the city awake? It's complicated. Look at me, Elle. Yeah? Oh, I just realized something. If being connected to the law means that everyone within Laterano shares empathy, and if what we're seeing within Laterano is just one big illusion in Genjutsu, is Lemwin even standing right now? Is Lemwin walking properly right now? Because as far as we know, her wheelchair, she should be wheelchair bound. And all we've seen from her are standing sprites. Is this like... Hold up. Is this Genjutsu world somehow just giving people their ideal paradise? Or I don't know, a world where people have no suffering and shit? What's the plan with the law? Why is Lemwin standing? Separated by roof ridges, Lemwin looks at her sister. The sun is unbearably bright, but she said, "Look at me," so gently that Exia does not even blink before complying. For a long time, Lemwin and Exia stand unspeaking. Stand! Silence links the two. Go. You're letting me walk away. You're only just created the Cardinal of the 7th Tribunal. If they found out you let a prime suspect go, you're as good as defrocked, aren't you? Remember when the gunsmith had me pick a serial number for my guardian gun? Of course I remember. You didn't even mull it over. You just went straight for the date Mama and Tata brought you home. I told myself then to protect you and them forever. Hey sis, aren't you afraid that they'll say you're covering for me? You don't get it, Elle. In choosing whom or what to protect, trust comes first. The time we spent together, the empathy and understanding between us, that's why I trust my sister and why I trust that she's making the right call. So the way I see it, I'm not covering for you just because you're my sister. In fact, there's plenty of other reasons for me to do this. Why don't you come with me, sis? No. Your doubts, I've been having them too. You're questioning the whole standing thing. Maybe there are some things I can still do in my position. She's still under the Genjutsu, but she might be slowly awakening.
I think it's this way.
Yeah, we followed them all the way here. Weird. They just vanished. They're so fast. Do confessional engines even have that power?
There are too many forks here. Thus Lem will split ways from the confessional. Contact the notarial hall and request executor support. Also have them scan all mobile confessionals on the intercity net to see if that they can find one designated ELC-001.
Roger. Hey, look up ahead. What? Wait! Monster? Why is Monster here? And why is she dragging the confessional? Pedaling fiercely. Phew, finally managed to catch up with you after clearing out your escape route. I won't let the Laterans tear you apart. Thanks for the hard work. You know, I have to commend your sharp senses. You figured out Laterano was facing a calamity based on just a few Sancta operators' peculiar reports. It might have been too late, but we waited any longer. Had we waited any longer to make our move? It's only been a few months since everything happened at Rhodes Island. We have to be on guard for anything strange to crop up. Amiya's contacting our branch office operators. Closure's busy restructuring the new plates. Our elite ops are making sure the land ship is secure. At least we got an update. While you then take any more than 1 second to decide to come with me. You're welcome, though it used to always be. Alright, Doctor. What's next? We were hiding for so long, but now our efforts have gone to waste. We need to make sure Exia can move unhindered. There's no longer any point in hiding our tracks. True, the strange ritual's over, and people have already woken up from the dream. Strange ritual? The nativity? Dream? The genjutsu? I'm sure the machine is already reacting, and the Curia and Nurturer are speeding things up on their respective ends. Does it still want everyone to finish their dreams to complete its experiment? I can't use any of my skills here, and their comms controls turned you into this. What do you mean turned you into? Wait! This has been a huge genjutsu. The confessional isn't real. It's literally just the Doctor in dream form. They've cut down your engine power too. You move pretty slow now too. I'm glad you're here, monster. Well, I couldn't find anything else to drag you around either, so... Doctor! Open your door! There's a couple of donuts in there. I have to refill my energy. There are donuts. What? Ah! Oh! That's sick! We get a contrast of the dream world and the real world. In the dream world, it looked like the Pontifical cohorts were chasing us, but actually it's these eldritch creatures! El Caro didn't exist. It was literally just the Doctor getting dragged. Which means the Doctor, along with Vanini, was just blasting with guns? Wait a minute, was that the first time Doctor participated in combat directly? Running wildly, brandishing claws. Are you holding on? I'm kind of used to it. I'm fine, it's just like how you used to carry me around. Now's not the time for jokes, Doctor. The Shrine of Nurture incubated these monsters with halos in the dream, but how did they get them to invade reality? Look at the projections on the buildings. Notice the strange colors? Wow, sharp eyes to notice all of these little details while I'm dragging you at high speed. Glad you have such excellent dynamic visual acuity. Uh-oh, they're catching up. Alright, hold on tight. Yeah! So what strange stuff were you talking about anyway? It's not the dream collapsing that's affecting reality. The dream is just a facade. It's already using reality itself. So the chaos in Laterano wasn't caused by that machine going haywire. It's the opposite. It dragged everyone into this collective dream just so it could maximize its synchronization efficiency and output a pre-programmed result. Which it could do if it was running at full power. Doctor, we have to know. What it ultimately wants Laterano to become? What exactly prompted it to make this decision? So if we're running off that it wants to call back every Sancta back to Laterano, maybe it just programmed everyone's halos and wings to shatter so that the global Sancta will make a pilgrimage back. And it wants to put everyone under a dream for an experiment or some shit. But why? What prompted it to make the decision? Monster, have you found the connection point yet? I've tried various methods ever since we came to Laterano with our lead in hand and entered the dream, but... the machine's operating logic is too unique. I need more time. We're already exposed in both dreamland and reality, Doctor. The city's rejecting us like a virus. So our current priority is to stay alive. Meanwhile, back in the dream. Calamity's already here, you're certain. But there is no time to express any regret as you and Monster rush through illusion and reality, fleeing. No, looking for a lead on the trail of your fate. The trip to Laterano has been perilous, yet the bumpy ride somehow helps you shelve some of your concerns. Unconsciously, you have already entrusted your life to her. The monster. Thank you, monster. What?
Is that?
I thought I was seeing things. You mean these two were just watching us have a Looney Tunes ass scene? And they didn't do anything about it? Shall we go greet our mutual friend?
Keep moving, Arturia.
Are you not worried about the doctor?
I am worried, but it is not my top priority at the moment. It is the first time I have seen that woman who took the doctor away, but her appearance and combat style are familiar with me. With her, the doctor is not in imminent danger. Also, the doctor has drawn away many of the monsters and created an opportunity for us to escape. We should leave at once and locate the Pope.
Fede, I'll help you add what you just said into your mission report for Rhodes Island.
I will write it myself.
So people are starting to wake up. Lemwen is almost there. Mastima and Fiametta not so much yet, I think.
We won't forget.
Seems we've come up empty-handed.
The room shows little sign of recent human activity. His usual household furniture, such as the rocking chair, coffee maker, and shooting target, are all covered with dust.
The Pope hasn't been here in a while?
The terminal shows no communication records or abnormal messages. There's no opportunity to produce any additional evidence now. Preliminary deduction. Pope Evangelista XI has been missing for roughly 2 weeks.
I only met His Holiness once, and already mentally prepared myself, but to know something really happened to him.
Arturia, explain. You seem to have a theory as to where His Holiness has gone.
Last seen 2 weeks ago. We meet again, Grandpa with the Lateran candy. The curious joint trial has already concluded, with your signature on the verdict. The condemned shouldn't be having a private meeting with the Pope, though.
So what is your decision?
So straightforward. I imagine you'd say something like, I was just taking my post-dessert walk and accidentally bumped into you. As for whether I'm willing to become a so-called saint, I believe we had a thorough discussion on the topic when I was at Rhodes Island.
We certainly did. I'm quite fond of that landship myself. A pity our meeting was so short. I still remember that sunset when you performed a not-so-Latin piece. I also remember that you were hoping for me to provide more evidence. Yes. Do you remember my words, child? That every light we know will one day be extinguished.
Has been etched into my mind. It's an interesting expression after all.
That day will soon come. Of course, it is just a hunch.
The Pope points to his own halo.
It's been sending me a lot of warnings lately, but refuses to respond to any of my questions.
The law has went AWOL. Hold up. What does that mean?
To put it another way, a glorious law is suddenly no longer interpretable.
I only know how to play the cello, Your Holiness.
Of course. Interpreting Holy Scripture is the Pope's job. Trouble has popped up at work, and I have to figure out how to solve it somehow.
So what do you need me to do?
To stay vigilant. I'm not sure what exactly will happen, so this is the only thing I can say. If the Holy City's lights do go out, then trust in your ideal understanding, your ideal emotion, the kind of unreserved, pure, and honest communication that you seek. An alienus like you will then perhaps become a panacea or poison, but regardless, you will turn things around.
Right. So that's why the Pope turned Executor and Arturia into saints. Because they're unironically both so neurodivergent that they could stay awake, disconnected from empathy and the genjutsu. The day is once again saved by neurodivergency. No fucking shot. They're the backup plan that the Pope set up because he knew that they're kind of, even among Sancta, they're kind of disconnected from the whole system. It sounds as if I have no reason to refuse you. Though I'm not the only alienus Laterano has.
Indeed. I was just about to contact the other saints. Though I pray that we still have enough time. So that is why you began suspecting your surroundings so early.
Not the whole reason, Fede. One's inner main theme may stay the same, but it's hard to miss. Those supplementary and missing segments, all blended together too seamlessly. Sister Hildegard is a good example. What concerns me more though is that the incident happened before His Holiness managed to find you. The whole genjutsu also explains how you can't see the big building outside of Laterano because it just exists within the dream world.
The situation is far too complicated. All of Laterano has fallen into an unfathomable calamity on the scale near to what we experienced in the Witch King's pavilion.
We experience? Hello? Perpetrator numero uno is right beside you.
We require support.
Fortunately, I have my cello with me. I feel like we're gonna break people out of the dream using Arturia's music. Magister? There is no answer. Vanini walks around the workshop but fails to find her master. She spots a bottle of eye drops on the workbench uncapped. Annie, about time. Huh? The gun knight came by earlier and took Paganini away. Before he left, the gun knight told me to tell you to hurry over to the Curia to assist their investigation. Avani, are you two in some sort of trouble? Either way, you'd better get to the Curia. The gun knight wasn't in the best of moods. Magister. It must be because of her and Elle, but no matter, she thinks her master should not get caught up in this. Wait, these are... Some bullet casings are scattered on the workbench, as if they were casually left by a careless gunsmith. Vanini puts on her gloves and begins collecting them as she usually does, but she suddenly feels as if she recognizes these casings, like they're old friends. The shells are smooth to the touch, even the etchings have been rubbed flat. How many times have they been handled? What kind of bullet casings would receive such care in whose hands? Vanini takes off her gloves, she touches the casing, the metal shines, still slightly warm. Hag.
Dios míos, Lord Almighty, you scared the glasses off of me. Are you finally going to say something? You're already 4, you know. Any Sancta your age should be speaking with a bright halo over their head. Alright, I was hallucinating. You still can't talk. I would have left this rotten place long ago if I hadn't picked you up by chance. Just thinking about having to live in the same city as that damn Patrician makes me sick. How many hospitals and churches have we been to? Huh? And still, no one has any idea if you were just born like this or if your lord has any problem with you. It's been 3 years. You have no halo. Neither do I. So of course I have no clue what's going on in your head. Seems like I've gotten used to my little mute here. And even I myself have been growing quieter but day by day. Oh, whatever. You haven't run off in the middle of the night, so I'll just assume you like it here. But that's enough from me, considering how responsive you are. If you ever want to communicate with me, you'll have to figure out a way yourself. Vani, let go. Why the sudden hugging and crying and laughing? Did I flip a switch somewhere? You don't usually respond to anything I say. Are you trying to make up for all these years at once? Also, what's up with that sudden light over your head? These doctors and clerics treating you the past 3 years couldn't do a thing. But you picked a gun with that Lemuel kid and now you're fine? But, still can't speak, Don't you Sancta sprout halos from your first word? Did your halo come out early because it got impatient?
Grabs her master's hand and nods vigorously.
I'm no Sancta, so I don't get how you communicated with that kid through the Guardian gun, or how much it mattered to you. In any case, now I know you can understand me perfectly. That's enough for me.
Gripping her master's face feathers. This is very cute. But also, what do you mean Exia was the one who awakened her halo? She is ride or die for Exia, for a deeper meaning. Exia was the first Sancta that she empathized with. And it activated her halo. This is Yuri.
Okay, that hurts. If you're willing to listen, I can teach you a less violent way to communicate. Sit here and stay. Look at these bullet casings. Here, I'll teach you.
Since when am I able to talk? I shouldn't. Unless this is also part of the dream. Wait a minute. Wait. Lemwin standing? Vanini being able to talk? I feel like this is a kind of fake paradise. To little Vanini, understanding and expression were a pair of rusty doors blocking her from communicating. She lived with the garrulous and eccentric Libri for 3 years, unable to figure out when he was happy or angry, unable to express her own annoyance or adoration. She never thought a Sancta with both fiery hair and personality would blast a hole into her sealed-off heart without the need for words. Later, her master pieced small bullet casings together and word by word taught her a whole new language. Even after she finally learned some simple phrases, they still used the shells to communicate. But today, she no longer remembers when exactly did she manage to grasp the most complex of sentences, let alone how many times she nonchalantly tossed the shells left by her master into the trash. She dares not imagine his perplexed face as he rubbed the shells they used for more than a decade, wondering why his student no longer cherishes the special language from the depths of her memory. Through tearful eyes, she realizes once more what those casings mean. It's a warning. No, Magister! Oh, Vani, I just remembered something that was bothering me. When the gun knight took Paganini away, it didn't look like they were heading to the Curia. I say they were going towards the Shrine of Nurtury. That's ominous. That is ominous! They're gonna put a halo on Master Pag's head!
Cardinal Lemwin, forgive my tardiness. I was just sorting out the gunsmithy handover documents. There's just so much. Why are you here? Cardinal Aid Amos, have a seat. Easy now. Just passing on the Curia's newest orders. What kind of orders would require your presence? The Curia has decided to suspend all of Cardinal Lemwin's work, and you shall serve as an acting Cardinal of the 7th Tribunal until her work review is complete.
What?
You heard me. The 7th Tribunal was raided by unknown forces recently, and the suspect Lemuel, who attempted to disrupt the Summit of Nations, managed to escape during the chaos.
I'm still trying to process that in reality, it was just the doctor wielding a bunch of guns that broke Exia out. But also maybe Monster was there. Maybe the guns on the confessional was just representative of Monster in the dream.
Cardinal Lemwen made contact with the suspect, but released her without authorization. After further investigation, it was discovered that she acted similarly during the Pagus Devonis explosion and the attack on the Shrine of Nurtury. Cardinal Lemwen has engaged in severe violations of the 7th Tribunal's Code of Conduct, as well as the law. But why me? We wouldn't have captured the suspect without the crucial evidence you provided, and perhaps the nativity would have been sabotaged. Amos, you've spent more than a decade at the 7th Tribunal, yes. The 2 more months and it will be exactly 14 years. You were the oldest functionary here, and are familiar with the 7th Tribunal's business. Does that not make you the most suitable candidate? It may have been an absence of opportunity, rather than a personal lack of ability, that has prevented you from playing a more important role. Be more confident in yourself, boy. Boy. Reverend Patrician, I've always felt you did not like me too much. I still remember the first time Aurelia and I went to visit you. It was not you, but Fiammetta, who had just come home from school, who welcomed us. I mean, I don't like you. Aurelia was my best student, exceptionally talented in armored combat and firearms, but she had too much of a character and an extreme way of doing things. While you, on the opposite, were too weak, and yet these are your own choices. I'll just say this again. I wasn't home that day because my armor broke and needed fixing. Besides,
Words are hard.
We're going to make it personal between us. You're the one who's holding a deeper grudge, yeah, right? I personally expelled Aurelia from Laterano after all. When it comes to that, I only blame myself. You're right. I'm too weak and have nothing to my name. I couldn't help Aurelia diffuse her anger, even though I was right there with her. And so she hurt the shackled Sarkas in the Abbey, and ultimately leveled her gun at her own people. And after she made that terrible mistake, I didn't even manage to see her one last time, Reverend Patrician. I really can't do anything. Then think on what you can still do right now. Now, the Summit of Nations is still ongoing, and the 7th Tribunal has lots of business on hand. You will be temporarily created Cardinal, as the Curia has decided.
Look, man. They keep saying the 2nd Summit of Nations is happening. But all we've seen is it's just been a huge illusion this entire time. The Twin Empresses, one of them, still out of the picture, and yet both of them were implied to be here. I don't even think the Summit of Nations is real.
Alright. What? Handshake review complete. You now have access to Cardinal privileges and permissions. Wait, so fast? I still haven't. Cardinal Amos, in the face of calamity, Laterano must strive for efficiency. So there will be no welcome tea or cake for you.
With the gun knight gone, Amos pulls out a chair. He opens his terminal, and his privileges have indeed already been updated, as Patrician said. Everything happened so fast, he needs some time to adjust, and he suddenly realizes something. He taps on the File Explorer and scrolls all the way down, finally arriving at his target at the bottom. He opens the document, his finger pausing on a signature confirmation page.
Aurelia, finally.
Newly created Cardinal Amos sees a smile on his face reflected on the terminal screen. It is a little ridiculous, he thinks. You're just a cog in the system, my guy. You don't even know what's really going on. Meanwhile, what the hell, these two are in the real world?
This is... It's Laterano. We're finally back. No, something's off. Those strangely colored shadows. Look at their shapes. They're projecting. The Shrine of Nurtury? What's going on? Has Laterano changed, or do we have brain damage? Watch out! Behind you!
Praying.
A creature with a halo? Oh, what? There's more and more of them. Wait, stay back. I don't need an extra halo on me. Nice shot. They don't dodge bullets, so we should be fine.
You shot something with a halo. Are you gonna fall?
Why do you look so dazed? Let's clear a way out. What's wrong?
Oh. Oh. They operate under the law.
You're a fallen? Our awakenings may have influenced others to wake up as well, but there are also more of these halo-sporting creatures.
Those creatures dragged the awakened into the strangely colored projections, and they vanished together. They did not even manage to retaliate, and the Sancta who shot at those creatures have fallen.
Pede, I'm afraid my joke from before was no joke at all. These things are considered Sancta, and thus are people. How strange and chaotic their hearts sound. What should I listen for within the mess? What should I share with them? And they can't feel our emotions either, and are anxious over it. They desperately want to share theirs, but they only resort to brute force. Like an infant yet to grow a halo, no matter what they want to express, they can only cry and grab at their parents' sleeves. Yet they are our people, just too immature.
Immature, but powerful. The law grants an infant a halo when it speaks its first word because language represents rationality's awakening. And rationality refers to Sancta finally gaining the capacity to be conscientious of both their people and the law. Why would the law deem a pack of non-sentient creatures Sancta, and also compel them to use brute force to intervene in people's fates? Anomalies only continue to multiply. Currently, the only individual we may cooperate with is the Doctor. Being present already, the Doctor must know something about the current situation. Arturia, are you certain the Doctor remembers the sound of your strings?
The Doctor was almost present at every one of my performances on Rhodes Island. A pity the Doctor was never my intended audience, but I ought to be glad the Doctor seemed to have been listening carefully every single time.
Only your first sentence contained actual information, Arturia.
Sure. Well then, Fede, I will guide the Doctor with my cello.
Please guide us. A sudden notification beep interrupts the two.
Here and now, of all times.
Federico checks his communicator. Hello? Can you hear me? Aurelia, former citizen, ID LC0073458. Aurelia's outside the gates.
A group of Erari Sancta and water refugees, currently north of Lateran City, 3 kilometers out, requesting permission to enter the city.
Well, well, well. The prodigal daughter has returned. Oh wait, I think we're done with MT-6. MT-7. All walk towards the inevitable end. That is why words are hard. That is why the continuity of meaning is so precious.
This is the place. Enjoy some rest. I thought I was going to the notarial hall or basilica to be questioned about Arturia's escape. The gun knight who brought you here has other business to attend to. He asked me not to tell you not to worry about Arturia's case. Long has Landen Monastery served the Holy City dutifully. There will be no excessive penalty just because a single prisoner escaped. Phew, that's good to hear. It was for another reason that you were brought here.
To be given halos? Hold up. Can non-newborns receive halos?
There's so many. Would you prefer a quieter location? No, what I mean is, why is everyone in this nursery Liberty?
Oh. Oh. My question might be answered sooner than I think it would. It's all the Lateran Liberty. This is also where Paganini was brought. Hildegard scans around the room and sees Liberty in all sorts of outfits, sitting or standing. There's little conversation, only the steady ring of comfort bells. Hundreds, thousands, too many to count. An entire city's worth of Liberty seems to be assembled here. What are they gonna do to the Liberty? Since when did this nursery become so large? No, more importantly, why are all these Liberty here?
Don't tell me you have a room full of Peros, a room full of felines, a room full of lupos? An astute observation.
Why are they segregating different races?
We also have rooms full of fallen angels and sarkas.
Interesting that those two were mentioned in a single sentence, implying they share a room.
You're awfully forthcoming. The Shrine of Nursery has nothing to hide. At the conclusion of the Nativity, the Curia announced that the Sancta will share their halo with all races. The simplest method is to do it race by race.
Do you mean we could have halos too? We could feel each other the way Sanctus do?
As you felt the Arbor Beast's heartbeat at the Nativity. Why? Why what? Why do we need halos?
Exactly.
So you brought me here not because of Vanini, but because I'm a Liberty. Yes. I'll get a big old light over my head just like yours. Go on in, Pag. Sounds like I don't have a choice. And it also sounds like a wonderful thing, doesn't it? At least it'll be good for your eyes. More than that, I think. If I had a halo, I'd be able to tell what the metal heart of yours was feeling when you kicked out Gia out of Laterano. I know you blame me for that. Glad to know that you know. Maybe things would have gone better for you if that hadn't happened. Over centuries of Lateran history, many have tried to recreate the terrifying high-caliber revolving antique gun that the ancient tomes described. Only you succeeded.
High-caliber revolving antique gun? You mean a Gatling gun? The one that Patrician has?
That design, which assumed the user could withstand a recoil 5 times that of an ordinary gun, was the work of a genius, or a madman. Oh, are you bragging about being born to be a gun knight? After all, you successfully tested my design before even putting on a suit of armor. I just thought we were born to be partners. You and I and Gia were always the best of friends, from primary school to university. But my first official mission as a gun knight was to exile Gia from Laterano. After that, you gave up gunsmithing for the Apostolic Knights, opened a workshop somewhere I didn't know about, and now I decided to retire, alright? You and your Vapa Shrine of Gunsmithing. What use did you Sancta have over me if you treat gunsmithing like making potato chips? It's a crime to be non-Sancta, is it? Gia got exiled, I have to get a halo put on me? The Liberty aren't allowed to live in Laterano the way we are now, are we? The thing with Gia had nothing to do with being a Liberty. Even if she was Sancta, the Lateran wouldn't allow someone with oripathy. You don't know shit! Lateran order and Lateran purity again. How many times do you think I've heard that garbage from you? Do you really believe it yourself? Somnias Dormis, how could you? If you've thought even once about how Gia died out there alone. I admit, I did believe in it, Patrician, until that day. We got hangovers together, played with guns together, cried and laughed together. No one in Laterano would clink glasses like we could. But when I saw Gia disappear into the wilderness, and you just turned around and went back to Laterano the way you did, that's when I realized we never actually shared a damn thing. We were always second-class citizens.
Dang! Arknights getting woke and political again? Dang. In my waifu gacha game in 2025? Dang.
The halo is not a bad thing, Sister Hildegard. It's Laterano's blessing on us. I know. From the earliest nomads who followed the burden beasts, the Liberty had always learned from the Sancta, from their ways of living to their ways of thinking. The Liberty longed for a better life, and they longed to be part of the Holy City. We understand that. I know. I told that history to Arturia a long time ago. Not so long ago. But there's one thing the Liberty can never learn from the Sancta. The Halo. That is why certain conflicts between Sancta and other races living in Laterano have lingered to this day. Unable to take part in Sancta empathy, you're troubled by the doubts of your faith. You suspect Laterano of being indifferent, of alienation. To help with land and monastery's finances, you were away from Laterano for a long time, Hildegard. This is why you may not have sufficient understanding of the situation. You can ask your fellow Liberty. I know. I know how many outsiders who live here envy your empathy. That is why we will now share it with everybody. There will be no more misunderstandings or differences. We will truly understand one another and eliminate the conflicts and barriers between us.
I don't know about that, dog. I don't know about being part of a hive mind.
The Liberty will become a truly inseparable part of Laterano.
I don't know, man. Diversity of thought is a strength. And you can't just rely on telepathic empathy to solve all your problems. Even with Exia and Mastima. Oh wait, no. Mastima doesn't have empathy anymore. Even between other Sanctans with each other, they still have conflicts, regardless of empathy. That's what happened with Anduin and Lemuin. That's the whole crux of Anduin and Lemuin, actually. Is that empathy can't solve even Sancta on Sancta conflicts. That's why people break the law.
What? I grew up in this city. I know where one can find best desserts, which alleys have cloud beasts that have special taste or pumpkins, which buildings have rooftops perfect for stargazing. At Landon Monastery, I made beer and bread with the Sancta Sisters, traveled to other countries to solicit sponsors, and got completely plastered whenever we came back.
Okay, I didn't recognize your game, Archetto. She's a heavy drinker. She gets plastered? With the sisters?
I took pictures of how their wings went through the backs of their chairs when they were sleeping, and they played lullabies in the chapels when I sneaked out, so that the abbot would sleep a little longer. I remember that. Actually, the abbot knew. He just didn't want to scold you. I'm a Lateran. I like this place. I love it very much. You're right that I often find myself on the outside looking in. I don't know why the Sanctas, who had been crying a moment ago, started laughing and singing at their cohorts' funerals. But my father was a hunter. Every winter, he would go into the mountains with his friends to hunt. He told me that even hunters who have hunted together for decades can have different ideas when they see the same quarry. They sometimes even fight over it.
That's exactly what I said!
Everyone is different. That has nothing to do with whether or not we have a halo.
That's exactly what I said!
But you tell me I won't truly become Lateran until I have a halo? Do you mean to say I wasn't a true Lateran from the past 20 years?
That's exactly what I said! Oh! Look, man. When I say I'm in tune with the game's narrative, I'm in tune with the game's narrative.
Has my entire life been a poor imitation? It has, Sister Hildegard, but you should not see that as a rejection of you or any other liberty. It is simply a necessity for the acceptance of Laterano.
Necessity? Who? What? Where?
I don't care about a rejection or acceptance. I just don't think there's anything wrong with my life. And I don't see a reason why I have to accept this so-called blessing.
Well, the melancholic music just stopped. Hold up, guards!
Laterano has already made a decision, Sister Hildegard.
Uh-oh. Okay, the halos are getting forced on everybody.
It was the first time I experienced a parting pag. It wasn't a good feeling. I guess that was when my life started to go off the rails. It's like those popcorn movies, you know. The Chainsaw Guy series, The Bridges of Michelion. First Gia, then you, then my finest student. I exiled her from Laterano personally.
Finest student? Finest student? Was that Mustima? Who's he referring to?
I worry too about Fia.
Oh, don't worry, she's 3 kilometers away.
What? You worried your dear granddaughter might run away? And you'll die alone? You all had your issues. I tried to do something but never actually helped anyone. Huh. Did you really try? Or are you just lying to yourself to feel better? Maybe both. But there's something you got wrong. I support the ideas of halos for everyone. Not only because I want to protect the order and purity of the holy city. You're making Laterano sound awfully racist by putting it this way.
Oh, snap! Is that the first time we've ever heard the word racist uttered in Arknights? It's always been implied. They've used the term racism before, but never the adjective racist. Hey, yo! Arknights up here with the dark woke in 2025. This is why it's the GOAT.
A Laterano where everyone shares a halo will truly become one and whole. Part of the in-group will be able to survive the unimaginable calamity that threatens all of Terra. It'll also solve all the other problems we've been having, including...
What? Interpersonal conflicts? You think halos are gonna fix everything?
Anyway, I think that's enough sharing for now. Dio gracias, thank God it's over. Getting all that garbage from you again is making me sick to my stomach. Go on in, Pag. And if I say no, I don't want that light show you've got on your head. And I've got no interest in studying your honorable motives.
Paganini levels his gun at the gun night. My man!
Just give it a minute. What do you mean? You're a genius gunsmith, Pag, but you're a liberty. You can't use the guns you make. They're just your calling cards.
They don't know. Brother, I don't think they know about usable guns. What? But maybe they do. Maybe they know about Black Steel. I wouldn't put it past Laterano to know about Black Steel and the proliferation of usable guns. Maybe it's just Paganini and his guns that haven't been crafted that way.
If you're really that furious with me, give it until the ceremony. Then you could put a bullet in me. Once you have a halo, you'll be able to use it.
Oh! Paganini smashes the gun against the knight's armor. Pieces fly in all directions, and the broken gun stock makes a dull sound as it thuds the ground in the distance, echoing throughout the corridor. Just hit him with it! Smack him with a backhand!
Go on in, Pag.
Legatus Mastima, Overseer Fiametta. Your contribution to Laterano is much appreciated. Now kindly come this way.
Oh, these two are the wild cards of this story. Not Arturia and Executor. These two are the wild cards.
To the nurseries already filled to the brim. The ceremony is about to begin. The matriarch will first enlighten the Liberi who have lived in Laterano for many years. Then the broken halos and wings of the fallen angels will be repaired. Quickly now, I will lead the way.
Oh! Knocked out! Gee, I wonder who this could be. Heh. Just in time.
Our shadows fall.
Meanwhile,
Come in.
Amos.
Cardinal Lemwin.
I'm afraid you'll have to find another way to address me now. I was under the impression that the Curia wasn't letting anyone visit me. Isn't that right?
I put in a report. I was only just created. It's only natural that I would seek my predecessor's advice.
You adapted quickly, Cardinal Amos. I thought you said you didn't really have any aspirations.
Senora, I didn't come to gloat. Our relationship was never cloak and dagger, was it?
Sorry. But if you came to ask about Lemuel, I've already said this many times. I have no idea where she is.
It's something else I want to ask about. Did you sacrifice your career only to protect your sister? Or did you truly believe what she said? From the Nativity to the Summit of Nations, something doesn't seem right about all that has been happening in Laterano lately. It's like we've come down with a sort of illness.
They're the same thing to me.
There's something I want you to see.
Amos turns his terminal on and hands it to Lemwin.
What's this?
Application to join the Legati. I wanted to be a Legatus and get assigned to Bolivar.
You want to leave Laterano? Why?
My wife and I. We had a big fight and I left. When I came back, she had gone on a mission, dealing with Sarkaz raiders attacking caravans in the wilderness near Kazdel. She's always been like that, never listening to people. It was winter. I figured she wouldn't be back until spring, and I was thinking about doing something to make up for my leaving. You know, the rest of what happened to her. Fallen, exiled, etc. It was convenient that the 7th Tribunal was responsible for national security and foreign relations. It took a long time, but I finally found out where she went. I thought.
I understand. What do you mean, though, when you said something didn't feel right?
The selection standards for Legati are extremely high. A man of my ability didn't really have much hope, so the application sat in my draft box for a long time until...
You approved your own application when you were created Cardinal of the 7th Tribunal.
Yes. Reverend Patrician said all I needed was an opportunity when he informed me of my imminent creation. I'm sure he meant something else, but this is all I could think of.
Oh, he just wants his wife. He just wants to see his wife again. Brother, he's a true wife guy. But she's coming here.
However, the moment I approved the application, it just vanished. No notice of rejection, no record to be found anywhere. It just disappeared from my terminal, like it never existed. There was no way the application would have gone through. I would not have been allowed to resign my Cardinalate and become a legatus so quickly. Besides, all the legati have been recalled to Laterano. I wouldn't be able to go and see Aurelia even if I really did become one. For me, approving the application wasn't even about making up for anything. It was just a small insignificant comfort. Who would want to wipe away such a small comfort? For me, that was enough for me to question if this Laterano is real. Maybe your sister was right.
Yeah, we're getting more allies.
Have you told anyone else?
No, I couldn't sleep last night. You were the only one I could talk to about this.
This isn't some newfangled interrogation technique, is it, Cardinal Amos?
You can trust me, Senora Lemwin. We both have things that truly matter to us. Few things.
Wife guy supreme.
An interesting point, Senor Amos.
By the way, there's an even bigger nativity scheduled at the Shrine of Nursery today.
The nativity isn't just about newborn babies getting halos. It's about baptizing non-sanctas. We prepare for death all our lives. Even in a place like Rocamarea, where everything is washed out by tides of plague and famine, an old man may lick his parched lips and say something to the effect before his eyes close forever. Words as old as time, as they say. To some, they're a eulogy, to wishes unfulfilled. To others, an utterance free of regret. But there is a common premise between the two. Death is the conclusion to life. Hello there, little arbor beast. You're not evil, are you? You just have a halo. You didn't ask to have a halo. Flaps wings anxiously.
Indeed, child. Your mother will answer no more.
What?
She has died.
Well, that's unfortunate. No, soft chirping. The mother has breathed her last. Anduin gently closes her eyes. The fledgling leans over. He is trembling, even the sheen on his hide darkened. Anduin places him on his own knee and looks into his eyes. The fledgling's voice is mumbled. Anduin does not speak the language of beasts, but he can feel sorrow, like a current running beneath the calm surface, the fledgling's and his own.
Death is accompanied by a new birth. When your mother knew that her own life was beyond saving, she chose to leave the hope of life to you. She used her last strength and succeeded. This is your first lesson. Rocamarea, the town with the clock tower, the abbey in the wilderness, and now. I've experienced many such moments, and now I have another. Each experience brings deeper insight.
All walk towards the inevitable end. That is why the continuity of meaning is so precious. Death is a parting. A gift from the departed to the living. The beginning of the living's own salvation.
Do not fear, child. Lament and remember. I will do so with you.
I will stay outside and leave her funeral to you, Anduin.
What of the matriarch?
She is indisposed, preparing for the nativity to bestow halos upon all the non-sancta here. She sends her apologies.
No matter. We have grown accustomed to welcoming new life with ceremony, while funerals are always so simple. Tell the matriarch that it will be a little while before I return to duty.
Are you alright?
The mother's passing was sudden. The child is young and unaccustomed to such sorrow. I must stay by his side.
No, it's you the matriarch is worried for.
What do you mean?
Matriarch said that she and you had been with this mother for a long time. She understands the sorrow in your heart. You are a thinker. Every journey gives you inspiration but also fatigue. As for the child, he is a miracle. He has the strength to emerge from darkness. The matriarch's wishes to tell you that no new life in Laterano will ever succumb to calamity or sorrow. They will be born equal, they will be brave, and they will be strong. Laterano will see to it. Anduin feels the fledgling arbor beast push against his arm. He wants to calm him down, but the fledgling pushes his hand away and spreads his wings. The fledgling takes flight, landing on a comfort bell in the middle of the room, making a pleasant sound. Anduin watches in confusion. He has worn a halo for decades, yet his eyes still struggle to adjust to the fledgling's dazzling light. He has been with the fledgling day and night. He knows what these movements mean. The fledgling is inviting him to play. The nurturer who can never turn down a child stands stunned. He wants to communicate with his sorrow, decline this incomprehensible invitation in the most tactful way possible. But eventually, he steps up and takes the young arbor beast's claw, dancing a waltz in the middle of the empty room, along the comfort bells. The arbor beast's excited cries echo throughout the room. His feathers shine bright under the halo, showing its sheen unreservedly in the spinning circles. Their steps grow quicker, and Anduin looks towards the body of the deceased mother, trying to ascertain his own emotions. Then he realizes with a start. He is no longer sad. He is joyful as the fledgling. He is beautiful as the fledgling. He sings and dances for the future with a heart full of hope, just like the fledgling. Their spinning steps draw beautiful circles on the ground and in the air. Is this what Sancta means? Yeah, man. No need to wallow in sorrow. No need to process all of that. Just skip straight to good emotions by empathizing with another's halo. That's a healthy way to deal with grief. Yeah. Only the instinct to avoid pain. When I say I'm in tune with this fucking game, I'm in fucking tune. But no right to sorrow in mourning. I'm in fucking tune with this game. I'm like a metronome, beating to the rhythm of Arknights' story. Is this the Sancta? Is this the miracle of life? Nobody answers his hysterical call. His matriarch is bestowing halo upon halo on the people in the Hall of Enlightenment. Oh! He didn't empathize with the fledgling who was happy. The fledgling and Anduin started empathizing with the people in the other room who started getting halos. Jesus Christ, that's kinda dark. They were in the middle of processing their grief for the deceased mother. And then they were like, oops, never mind. Good vibes are radiating from the other room. I feel happy now. He alone stops in his tracks. He recalls a funeral, one that should not exist in his memory. A field of irises, a child, cruel but sincere confessions and prayers, ringing of bells. Where are we? This isn't Kazimish. This is on the outskirts of Kazimish. Still no answer. Hey, Aurelia. Okay, fine. They're just reusing the CG from the outskirts of Kazimish. But we're still about 3 kilometers away from the capital. You don't believe me? You listen for yourself. Ouch! The sound hurts my ears. It's just noise. I can't make out anything. What's going on, Aurelia? You're asking me? You're a gun knight, or at least, you know more about these things than we do. You said it yourself. I was a gun knight. The static is bad enough. You want to add to the noise, and I know plenty of ways to shut you up. Sister, don't be afraid, Hugo. Please, Aurelia, the children are watching. These Sanctas have come a long way after a terrible ordeal and that left them with broken halos and a heart full of fear, with no comfort in sight. The intercity net of Laterano has always been stable, with dedicated personnel performing regular maintenance on communications equipment located in settlements outside the city. This emergency communication post is only 3 kilometers from the Lateran city. If any one of them is still working, this would be it, and I've sent a dozen hails through the special channel with no response. Is Laterano really done for? Huh. Could you try a few more times, Aurelia? You look even more nervous than them. Do I?
Nueda does not say any more. A few children come over and grab the hem of her dress, staring forward with her. The white walls of Laterano are already visible from this settlement. Impeccable as the clouds, it looks like the abode of the Holy Spirit, who accidentally ventured into the mortal realm. A miracle that should not exist. The pilgrims are but a stone's throw away, dusty and tired. Their broken halos and wings seem even darker in the wilderness. The pilgrims have reached the end of their journey, but is it truly the end of their suffering?
That's it. Laterano. Looks like the people in there can hardly even fend for themselves at this point. Get your things. We're going in. You're right. We can't just wait here forever. Let's go. But if we enter the city without the Curia's permission... Tell me, did we fallen sinners ever ask the Curia for permission when we decided to return? Don't tell me you came back to repay Laterano's kindness. It'll put you first against the wall. I'll put you first against the wall.
Stop. Oh! Executor! Oh! They made sense of the hails!
You must not enter Laterano. Look who we've got here. A notorial hall executor.
Are you Aurelia?
You know who I am?
I looked you up in the Notorial Hall database after receiving your message.
I kind of felt a burp coming. Okay, no.
Aurelia, former citizen ID LC0073458, a former captain of the 3rd Gun Knights. You were tasked to escort a Lateran caravan through the northern wilderness in the winter of 1090, when you engaged a group of Sarkaz mercenaries in combat. You completed your mission, but the nomadic abbey encountered a small-scale catastrophe on your way back. The Sarkaz prisoners attempted an insurrection and were executed on the spot by you. When a fellow gun knight attempted to record the events truthfully in a mission report, you threatened your cohort with a gun in order to hide your excessive use of force.
Oh! Okay. The Gilf is... the Gilf is kind of a baddie. As if we didn't recognize that before. Also, once again, a bit too violent for the third gun knights apparently.
In the chaos that ensued, you killed your cohort, resulting in you being stripped of citizenship and exiled from Laterano for life.
And what of it, Senor Executor? Are you trying to remind that Laterano will never forget my sins?
It is wild that her sins are basically just killing her cohort and not slaughtering the Sarkaz prisoners.
Look at the hundreds of people here. Some are fallen angels who were exiled like me. Some are Erari who left the Holy City for different reasons. Some of them have never even seen the Holy City, growing up in a cesspit like Bolivar, yet still believing in the tenets of Laterano. Have you not seen their halos? Are they fallen? Are they sick? They've crossed mountains and rivers to come here for an explanation, for any comfort they could find. And all the Lateran does is send a single executor to stop us from entering.
There's no more breaking the law. They're all fallen. Unfortunately, Executor has playable character plot armor. More and more Erari Sanctas gather, surrounding Federico, pointing their weapons at him.
You'll keep us out because we left Laterano for too long and forgot how to live like the other Sanctas?
The law punishes sinners, but what sin did I commit when all I did was live 20 honest years in Lithanian?
If the law is that cruel, then it's not us who should be punished. It's you. You and your cohorts, thus beasts of the law.
I fell because you punished an innocent man. You've never even used your power for good.
Federico watches the crowd quietly. The street lamps have lit at an inopportune time, casting eerie colors upon their faces. Fear, anxiety, anger, confusion, panic. All these emotions come together to twist their visages. Their hands tremble as they hold their weapons. The tension is palpable in the air. Federico is confident he can take out their leader quickly and suppress the rest by force, bringing the situation under control. He has always done so. It has worked. It has always worked. You can't just force these people, man. You can't just brute force them with violence. Federico is an outstanding executor. He has been with Tutorial Hall for 8 years. He knows what he's doing. This is his third year as a saint. Other than a burnt flower and a few chance acquaintances, there is no one to guide him or instruct him. Slowly, he moves his hand away from the gun on his belt, making sure the tense crowd sees it, while his eyes never leave them.
I did not come to repeat the judgment that Laterano once passed upon you. I'm here as a representative of the Notarial Hall, the Curia, not as a representative of the Notarial Hall, the Curia, nor any other official Lateran organ. The reason you must not enter Laterano is because the city is currently affected by anomalies beyond comprehension. Your presence may cause the situation to further deteriorate. I will explain, but I need time.
Calm them down. Calm them down with your cello.
Arturia, you should not leave the holy city.
Don't worry, I met the doctor, and I'm hearing the doctor's instructions. The doctor's discovery confirms our hypothesis. All of Laterano is caught up in some kind of dream, but the anomalies in the dream are being reflected in reality. A calamity has descended on the entire city.
Like the Kargarite invasion of Svilingstrom after the disintegration of the Witch King's pavilion.
Wait. They're directly tying this to the Lithanian event? Did these creatures come from the void? Are these demons? Have these been demons all along? Demons from the void? Collapsals?
Maybe. I don't fully understand it myself, but there is no doubt that millions of Laterans are being caught in a struggle between reality and illusion. We need the help. And we need the help.
But the law, though? Did the law break the boundaries of reality into the void, or is it just a simulation directly from the law itself?
Violators and errari.
Chance dissonance is often the beginning of an interesting variation.
I concur with the doctor. However, the calamity has engulfed all of Laterano. They are likely to enter the dream the moment they enter the city.
That's why I came looking for you, and I brought my cello.
We're gonna put some protections on these people so that they could help with the resistance.
Our shadows fall, where truth was once heard.
MT-8, Pilgrimage. The first saint returns to the holy city. The term Sancta is redefined. Yeah. The term Sancta is going to be redefined by the end of this event. What does that mean for Enfield? Because we've seen Sanctas without any wings in Enfield? Still have no clue. I'll take a sip of my coffee. Let's go. Last chapter of the session. Over here, Doctor. Squeeze in a bit so this dessert cart's in front. It's wild that we're just we're just a confessional. Finally a chance to catch my breath. Whose dessert card is this? What? Gap-toothed girl? Who is this precocious child?
You must be here for the ceremony, senora. Would you like to try my ice cream?
Before Monster can even refuse, the little girl gleefully shoves a cup of ice cream into her hands.
It's not a flavor you could get anywhere else in Laterano. I can take her out, nobody would even notice.
Monster, no! As Monster gives you the paranoid suggestion, she plops a spoonful of ice cream into her mouth without thinking about it.
Wow, that's really good.
Could you tell me your name, kid?
It's got my answer for me, Confessor.
What? Confessor?
Da-da-dee-dee-da. I'm called Idida. You named yourself after the dessert cart's music? Don't be silly, I customized it to sound like my name.
Monster, yes. Monster, no! Don't hurt the child. Did you know those guards, Idida? Aren't you scared of this lady, Idida? Aren't you scared of Monster?
Wow, I've never heard a confessional speak like that before.
It's a weird confessional. It's the latest model. Yeah. Looks like she buys the explanation.
Were you helping cover for us just now, Idida? Yep, because all of Laterano needs to change. That's what you think too, right?
What?
Was I just imagining things? You're the first person to say my sugar-free carbonated water-flavored ice cream was tasty, senora.
Carbonated water-flavored ice cream? Wait. It is... Wait. What's that? It's Pocari Sweat ice cream? You're selling Pocari Sweat ice cream?
Well, that explains why it's so refreshing. Mama and Tata were right. This is a rocky road I walk, but I finally found a little bit of success. Mind explaining a bit more? Desserts connect every Lateran. If you eat too much sugar, not only are you gonna get bad teeth, even your halo will start getting cavities. Tata's a dentist. Every time he says that, people think he's just trying to get more business for his clinic. But right now my halo feels kinda like a rotten tooth I just lost. It's making me feel not so good. I believe it's the Lord giving me a revelation. So I'm gonna practice what I preach. I'll change Laterano's eating habits and rebuild our connections with the power of sugar-free ice cream.
That's a grand dream you got there, Idida. Would you support this young citizen's vision, madame? Of her Pocari Sweat-flavored ice cream?
Mind if we take a walk together? I'd like to hear more about this connection between halos and tooth decay.
Wait a minute, is that how we're gonna snap people out? With sugar? Hold up. Is that how we wake people from the dream? Wait, no. Not with sugar. With sugar-free ice cream.
We should be able to avoid the guys chasing us with this kid around. You need to get in touch with Exia ASAP, Doctor.
I'm trying.
Hey there, leader! Sounds like you were able to loosen that comms control thingy, since we're having a long-distance call and all.
It's not entirely a good thing, Exia. This means everything in the dream is collapsing faster. This means the calamities in reality is getting worse.
Yeah, I figured as much. These guys have nearly all the non-sancta holed up in the Shrine of Nurtury. They want to put on an even bigger nativity. First time around, an Arbor Beast got a halo. This time they want to give everyone halos. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but this kind of change is a bit too quick and crazy. The way you explained it, leader, whatever happens in this dream will eventually become reality?
Okay, so basically I don't think non-sanctans have halos in reality just yet. We're still in the dream. What you said is what I saw, Exia. But some people are starting to awaken. Variables in reality are making the dream skip some steps. Executor and Arturia.
Man, this is way too complicated for me. Just tell me, what's the worst thing that might happen?
Laterano might stop existing entirely.
Oh, yeah. That's a really big deal. Well, no matter the situation, I can still find the jerk behind all this and free everyone from fake Laterano, right?
We're limited to keeping you clear-headed and free to move around. The restrictions on Monster and I haven't been lifted yet. Monster and I are still looking into other leads.
Got it. Leave Laterano's troubles to a Lateran like me. Oops, gotta keep my voice down. The grand nativity's about to start, and it wasn't easy finding a chance to sneak in.
Monster and I will keep tearing up the streets. Monster and I will keep eyes off you.
Say, how did the two of us meet again? One of Sora's releases? Texas birthday party? That time Penguin Logistics crashed into the Lungman office while cracking down on the Bloodhammer gang? Oh, was it the time I was planning on stealing a few sick old racing beasts when I ran into you on your way to buy their freedom?
We definitely met in Lungman.
Must have been, what, 5 years ago now?
5 years ago was a long time.
Well, here's to yet another beautiful partnership, leader.
Likewise, stay safe. Ominous chiming.
Everyone is in position, Reverend Patrazion. Next, we will coordinate with the Shrine Patrol to clear the surrounding straits, lock down the intersections, and ensure nobody is wandering about. Gracias. Every gun knight's gathered together. Our ammunition allocation.
I'm getting hiccups.
Our ammunition allocations and fire restrictions fully lifted. There's never been so big an event in our history of our order, has there? The nativity is of great importance to Laterano. The black snow on the ice of Sami, the hole in the sky above Lithanian, even the raging tides that dash against the coast, are all in alignment with the true calamity that has been prophesied.
Wait a minute. Black snow on the ice of Sami. Collapsals. The hole in the sky above Lithanian. Collapsals. The tides against the coast. Seaboard. One of them is unlike the other. How does the third relate? Or is it just calamities facing every single side of Terra? Is that it? People keep talking about calamities being cryptic and vague about it. Priestess should have just come clean with the whole thing back in chapter 15, so we wouldn't need to wonder about everything threatening the life on Terra as we know it.
Imagine how terrifying such a disaster would be. When that time comes, 200-odd gun knights taking to the field would be like a child throwing stones into the sea. I fear our holy city, which has stood tall for millennia, will fade away. The Pontifical cohorts and the Nocturnal Hall are still pursuing Lemuel and her co-conspirators. There is something else you must know. The nurturer who is guiding Mastima and Fiammetta was just attacked. Would you like to go and check the scene, Reverend? No. My post is here.
The time has come. All our Liberty brethren, please go to the Hall of Enlightenment.
I don't think the Liberty are gonna get their halos because Archetto as an operator doesn't have a halo.
The time has come. Over here, please. Once the other races have been bestowed their halos, the matriarch shall mend the broken halos and wings of the fallen angels, so that we may all regain empathy with our people.
But wait a minute. They said the Liberty are the first of the non-sanctons to get their halos. So that means everyone else hasn't been baptized yet.
It has begun, matriarch. I thank you all. You have forsaken nearly all rest since the establishment of this shrine. There have been many mishaps since the last nativity. We must advance our plans. This shrine's mission must be seen to completion as quickly as possible. To this day we have walked the same path, matriarch. This is something we realized long ago. Oh yes, there was one other thing on my mind. Today's ceremony is all about bestowing halos on non-sanctus rather than the birth. So why are we still using the name Nativity? Is there a better term for it?
Baptism? Conversion? The Nurturers lead the peoples of the various races into the halls of enlightenment, converging towards its center. The grand procession is like a herd of migratory beasts, yet none speak a word. There is only the rhythmic tinkling of countless comfort bells. As if in response, the matriarch lifts her head towards the crowd. Still haven't addressed the elephant in the room. The Summit of Nations and the delegations. Are they real? Are they not real? So far, the Empresses, the real ones, they're not here. Which implies that the summit might also be fake.
Henceforth, all who are sheltered by the holy city shall share one destiny, entwined into a single whole. Can this be called anything but the rebirth of Laterano?
Surprise! The crack of shattering glass cuts through the calming chimes of the comfort bells. A bullet from a sniper rifle. Its source is unknown, but it flies straight for the matriarch's sightless eyes. Blinding sunlight seeps in. Boom, headshot.
That strange couple at the door. Looks like they're deciding where to go to dinner using the roulette wheel. Interesting idea, isn't it? So they're the ones who wish to adopt you.
It's Lemon!
But why won't they come in and tell me that themselves? Oh, I get it. They don't want to put too much pressure on me. Now, why do you think that? Because they're pretending to fiddle with their guns while actually looking our way. Nothing ever gets past you, does it? Yes, I reached out to them before they came here. Your parents were in that caravan raid, and the Notorial Hall's been trying to arrange things with a few families for the better part of a year now, but nobody's bitten yet. You're the strongest child I've ever met, N. But you've still got a long way to go, and we can't let a kid live all by herself. I know, Senora. I'm not annoyed or anything, it's just, if I'm going to accept the kindness of others, I'm going to have to be a good kid myself, and it's really, really important. Well, the long and short of it is, they wanted me to tell you that they really like you. I also think they're really... can I have a week? No, 3 days. I'll think it over. Once I make a decision, I won't go back on it.
It's Lemon, with her vow to protect her family.
Is this the one that feels right for you?
Mm-hmm. Whoa, a sniper rifle. If it was me, I would have never chosen that one. Now, when it's my turn in a few years, I'll pick lots and lots of guns.
Yes, we can tell.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll have to remind you that this fellow's been sitting here for a few years now. Never been picked. Just think it over.
It's really quiet.
No. What I meant was, this sort of gun's different from the others. Truth be told, it's not very suited to you lively Sanctus. When you're on a battlefield, you won't get many chances to fire it. You'll have to make every shot count. Whether you're trying to protect something or destroy it, you'll have to have a sharper eye, a sharper mind, and take on more risks and costs. Because you can pull the trigger, or let it go, but you can't afford to hesitate.
Today is Lemon's birthday. Today she chooses her patron firearm, giving even more meaning to this already extremely important day to the Sancta. The gunsmith speaks with all seriousness. Her mother and father behind her, and all her friends are silent. Even the ever-vivacious Lemuel keeps her mouth closed like a good girl for once. Despite the silence, Lemon knows they are all looking right at her.
This is the one, Master Pag. Please guide me through selecting the other parts. Nice! You don't need to worry about it not having the chance to fire, Master Pag. You could smack people real hard with a gun this big, and my sis is super strong.
I don't think she has melee abilities. This is the incident.
Through the spiritual light, even the darkest stain can be cleansed. With a pious heart, even a savage monster can wade out of the mud.
Huh. Put that down, Captain. I've got you in my sights. You're unstable. I can sense it. Calm down. That thing's affecting your mind. It's evoking your disappointment in Laterano.
Right. Lock and key.
I know you submitted your resignation before we left, but even if you're determined to return to the wilderness, right now you're still one of us. Think about the fried cheese we ate before we left, okay? Think about the Falby's hat Fiammetta got you, the soft and downy one.
My disappointment in Laterano. No, far from it. He showed me how Laterano can save everyone.
None of us know what you're seeing is the truth of reality, or illusions or lies. Mastimo will be here soon. She has a way to get that thing off of you. We can start looking into the secrets afterwards, alright?
There is no afterwards. It's fading away. I must hold on to it. You know it's no illusion, Lemwen. It's certainly not lies. You saw those people locked in stasis outside of time, down in the underground palace. Those who do not die yet do not live. You've heard that the mad Sarkaz said to his shadow, the future shall have no secrets. So you should understand, what we found is the key to time itself. What I saw was a revelation. A future where even the most savage of monsters can be saved.
Your arts are running haywire, Anduin. That thing is eating away at you.
If that future exists, I must find the path that leads to it. I won't let go. I need to know more.
Anduin keeps his grasp on the oddly shaped staff. Light condenses into solid form and engulfs the entire cave. I have a lot of chances to pull the trigger, Lemon thinks. But amidst the chaotic rolling waves of emotion, Lemon finally finds the thread of rationality running through Anduin's mind. They have broken bread with one another. They have built bonds with one another. They understood one another and trusted their lives to one another. Their empathic link was stronger than any other. In that final moment, Lemon confirms her friend was not swept away in that unfathomable chaos. She loosens her finger on the trigger.
Damn it! Look out, Lemon!
And she makes the shot. When it finally matters.
Kef, matriarch of the Shrine of Nurturing. Hit.
The rooftop wind whips wildly at the sniper's cheek. She does not blink. Her hand doesn't move in the slightest. She hears. She sees. She thinks. She judges. Alright, lowlight. Final Fantasy XIV fan, I see you. She doesn't have many chances to fire. She has to make every shot count. She can pull the trigger or let it go, but she can't afford to hesitate. Before that crucial moment, she and her gun do not speak. Lemwen the Silent. She looks through the scope once more, double-checking what she sees in her sights. It is proof she pulled the trigger.
Compared to the ones in the vast lands, the statues oft seen in Laterano are more incomprehensible, Cardinal. Paradise has shaped our faith, so peculiar that it has become somewhat distorted. The souls of the living praying for survival as they traverse catastrophe and suffering, such is the most basic phase of faith. No, there's never a dull statue in Laterano.
While life is faith-shaped, gun-wielding saints towering over the streets do not represent disdain for calamity and suffering. We have simply chosen to take up a different mindset when confronting them. Through her scope from far in the distance, Lemon can finally see that all the statues in the shrine, their heads bowed and their hands clasped, are facing only the pious matriarch as they pray.
Kef, if she really is a horrible monster, then it's unlikely a bullet will do any damage. But at the very least, I'll let the people in the shrine see what's so unnatural about her, and create an opportunity for you, El. The rest I leave up to you.
Peak, Cinema, Kino, Cine.
Senor Amos,
Senora Lemwin, my location has been compromised.
I'll come back to you right up away.
No need. The Shrine Patrol is already here, and the Gun Knights too. There's a lot of them. I'll hold down the street corner. Get yourself out of the building before they surround the place.
What about you?
It's too late for me.
No! Amos! You still need to reunite with with Aurelia!
They've started fighting. Looks like our deduction was right. This cannot be a place just for birthing babies. Anyway, did you take care of the target?
Yes, got her in one.
That's good. That's good. At least this way, I managed to save a few people. Stop a few things that needed to be stopped. Can't be useless forever now, can I? Well then, Vale. Go do what you need to do, Senora Lemwin.
No! Amos!
Actually, I've got the question I wanted to ask you. Funny, it's only once you can't hear it that I finally dare to ask it.
The glitch in the comms terminal must be keeping the line open, and so the man goes on at length, chattering into the microphone. Lemwin hesitates for a moment, then chooses to be silent.
Was I really that useless? I never thought about it before, even though it took nearly all that I had just to become a small-time investigator of the 7th Tribunal, and I never got promotion during my decade or so here. It seems us Laterans never doubt ourselves on that front. It's like we naturally have 100 million ways to keep ourselves happy and satisfied. I know someone who made sticks for lollipops. He'd take several types of paper tape and twist them together into rainbow-colored sticks. Made nearly no money out of it. He did it simply because he knew children loved them. Ever since I found out Aurelia had been banished from Laterano, there was nothing I could do about it. I haven't even been able to feel even a microsecond of satisfaction myself. You're completely useless, Amos. That's what all I could think of. Like, how could you never forget the taste of the very first terrible dessert you ate? I thought that maybe, with a few years, I could use my seniority to muddle my way to the Legati and go on a trip to Bolivar. I couldn't save her in the name of Laterano. Not even I could forgive her for what she did. I just want to see her again. Apologize for the argument that we had.
Executor! Arturia! Y'all better bring the cavalry here! Right at this moment, we need to save our wife Guy. Aurelia needs to swoop in and save her hubby.
After so many long years of waiting, I finally got my chance, but it was all just a dream. A dream is fine too. If it's all a dream, then I don't have to worry about anything. Maybe getting shot here doesn't even mean anything in reality. When I was younger, I got 5th place at the 7th Tribunal New Joiner shooting competition, you know. I even met Aurelia that day on the range. It's a shame we weren't able to save each other.
I'd say that at the very least. You're a great investigator, Amos.
Oh, you were still on the line, Lemwin.
No!
It's time to wake up.
Rip. Die in the dream, die in real life.
Is the funeral complete, Anduin?
It is.
The Hall of Enlightenment is this way? You seem to be going the wrong way.
Am I?
The nativity has begun. The matriarch is awaiting for you. Where are you planning to go right now? Your emotions are rather unstable.
No, I've never felt more clear-headed. And I'm not going the wrong way either.
You're not allowed to leave.
I asked that you accompany me to see the matriarch, Anduin.
Ah! The help has arrived. Mastima? Yep.
Looks like we arrived right on time.
Mastima, Viametta, you.
What? Am I supposed to be like the other Liberty, pushed back into the herd by the guards, no matter how I protest? Or should I really be looking forward to seeing if my halo gets to be a square or a circle? Speaking of, I'm curious how they're going to mend the fallen angels' halos. Mastima. Sorry, got sidetracked. You want an explanation, Anduin? Gathering up all the non-sancta, forcing changes on their bodies. I thought this sort of stuff only happened in those shady Colombian tech companies full of mad scientists. Is this what you meant when you said it was about the future, about the possibility for Laterano? Is this what the matriarch promised to you?
I have strayed from my path. That I cannot deny. Laterano wove a beautiful dream for all of us. I was trapped too deep. Took too long to awaken.
Still talking nonsense even now?
The other guards will be here soon.
Damn it, do you think we can get close to the matriarch if we use him as a hostage, Mastima? Maybe she does trust him a lot. I'd be a little worried if it were all left up to Elle.
I can sense a multitude of emotions growing by the second. The number of people with empathy in the shrine is increasing. The nativity has begun. It's no use. Even if you subdue the matriarch right now, we must go do what we still can. I'll think of what to do about this ceremony that should not exist. But it's likely to lead to great chaos. It should buy you time to evacuate the people.
What's your plan? Why do you think we'll trust you, Anduin? Seriously, a babbling lunatic who already betrayed his friend once, saving everyone?
You don't need to trust me. Pity will not save the people. I don't have that kind of power. All someone who has ever walked the wrong path of obsession can do is save himself.
Wait, Anduin, take this.
A bomb.
Elle gave it to us to draw the guards' attention. But if you really are going to stop the ceremony that shouldn't exist like you said, you'll need more than just us.
Anduin walks past the pair, heading straight for the depths of the shrine. His steps are slow, but Fiametta makes no move to stop him.
You okay with letting him go? He's reliable when he sticks to a handful of words instead of a full-on parable. True. The situation's too damned weird. Not like we have any other better options at this moment. There's a whole lot of people coming this way, probably chasing Anduin. He'll buy him time with some breathing room. I'll get even with him after this is all over.
Time to lock in. The shrine's very first nursery. Once with a heart full of hope, it was here he tended to an unfortunate mother day after day. Now the child she left behind has clambered up onto the comfort bell, the sparkling droplets of water on his freshly washed wings, refracting the lamplight, just like a dream. The arbor beast does not mind his caretaker's prior outbursts. He calls out happily as always, inviting Anduin to play with him.
Insignificant trifles and grandiose feats are but a hair's breadth from one another. You have labored for so many years over this grueling journey of yours. You should not let such a meaningless difference stay your steps. I will need you to lift your spirits, for aside from caring for this mother and child, there are more deeds that need to be done.
An insignificant nurturer, a heaven-piercing shrine. The former could grit his teeth, harden his heart, and refuse this young beast's invitation, but this minor act of rebellion would do nothing to shake the foundations of the latter.
I should be doing more. I must do more. But how do I shake the pillars of this shrine? How do I erase the miracle that has already occurred?
The Shrine of Nurtury, this towering edifice, was not built in a day.
Yes, it was.
It began as a simple, ordinary nursery.
Our nursery.
Did we start with the blueprints of such an imposing shrine? No. We merely wished for a safe, comfortable room for that mother.
So this is the core? The first nursery room?
And yet its frenzied evolution led to what it is now.
Frenzied evolution. I did say that the Shrine of Nurtury looks like a seaborn.
That is how a future where all are saved can sprout from our faith. That was the first nurtury in the Shrine of Nurtury. This was the starting point of this grandiose building. This is where you and I placed our faith. And so, Kef, I'll tear my faith apart.
Anduin examines the bomb Osima gave him closely. It has been imaginatively cobbled together from all sorts of daily necessities, its face decorated with a bright splash of graffiti. He cannot remember what the girl who made this looked like. They might have met once or twice. They might never even have met at all. He can only remember Lemwin recounting her deeds countless times over.
I was never alone as I sought a way through this trail of thorns, was I?
Without the slightest hesitation, he lights the fuse. With a baby inside! Even the baby goes down.
I understand that you are no longer sad and suffering, my child. But you do not sense danger even as this room is about to explode. Or are you simply uninterested in this as well? Does Laterano need us? No longer need us to feel fear?
The Arbor Beast flies down to the ground, rubbing against Anduin's trousers in confusion.
If we cannot feel fondness, fear, or torment for all life has to offer, how can we even speak of revering it? I should have asked you this, my child. But it was I who brought you here. You could even say you were born in answer to my vision. This is our penance. A lesson for both of us.
Anduin bends over and cradles the Arbor Beast into his arms. This was not a child that was meant to live. It only lives because of dark magics.
That gunshot. I'm so very glad to hear the sound of your gun this time around, Lemwin.
Never mind. Cool guys don't look at explosions. He wasn't gonna... Look, man. If I didn't think that you might become a playable character, you might have gone with the flames. Somehow, you're scratching the surface of playable character plot armor. Also, cinema. When are you gonna become playable, my guy? You just dodged... You just dodged your own explosion. But also... Lock in! Church step is back! The fight begins. Sparks bloom wildly across the nursery. A giant comfort bell clatters as it falls, its sonorous notes adding to the clamor. The explosion engulfs the room, devouring the graceful balance of light and shadow.
Was this realm a dream? Or an obsession? Once you had a flock of brothers and sisters following behind you. They were rejected, harmed, insulted, desecrated. They named you guide and walked the long path with you. Yet here, in this Laterano, which you believed equal and selfless, you forgot them. And so I ask, how should this community you long for be shaped? How should this holy city you yearn for be rebuilt? What path is it you walk, Anduin? To what answers does it lead? If this is a dream, then I shall wake. If this is obsession, then I shall shatter it. Let us only speak of redemption after that.
The flames swallow the entire nursery. The Arbor Beast flaps its wings furiously. There is no fear in his eyes, as though he is simply dancing. And yet Anduin still covers his eyes out of habit. In this final moment, Anduin hears a bell clear as day. I'm 50-50 whether Anduin and the child survived the explosion. I'm 50-50.
Are you alright, matriarch? The ceremony has been interrupted. The entire shrine is shaking. The explosion just now. Is an evacuation underway? Yes, there's a Liberty wearing a Pontifical Cohort's uniforms, and a fallen angel leading our people to safety.
Fiametta and Mastima?
Only half of the non-sancta have successfully acquired halos. I will ask the patrol to have them reconvene right away.
Over half the non-sanctas have acquired halos? The Liberty would be the first, but Archetto doesn't have a halo the moment she becomes an operator. Hello? Continuity error? Like the cracking of bamboo, the explosion reverberates out of the depths of the shrine. The peal of the bell from parts unknown drowns out the chimes of the comfort bells. Chaos reigns as countless people flock to the exit. The towering edifice sways as the blast waves finally reaches the Hall of Enlightenment.
Let them be. Forcing them to stay will only harm them irreparably. The shrine is collapsing, Matriarch. No, what is collapsing is not only the shrine, but also the answer we sought with it. Gather the other nurturers. Everyone must leave at once. I will have the guards escort you out.
The matriarch steps down from the dais. Dice? The wind. Amidst the chaos, she hears the sound of the wind clearly from above her head, where there should only be praying statues and spotless stained glass. Hey, over here! You're not getting away that easily. Yo! She's dragging her out of the illusion! The matriarch lifts her head. She cannot see who is approaching her, but her voice has an infectious quality to it. Almost instinctively, she stretches out her arm. Yo! The dream version of whatever the matriarch is. It's unraveling. She's getting dragged out. I've been hanging on to this window for 2 hours already. If you don't get off that stage, my arms are gonna fall off. Exia holds on tight to the matriarch. The world spins and the two of them tumble to the floor. What they fall onto is not solid ground, but rather some odd softness. It is like falling into fog, yet also like falling into water. Exia senses a great force pushing her outwards, one that is definitely not just an explosion. Could this frail-looking woman really be that strong? She forces herself to open her eyes. She isn't sure when it happened, but the arm she's holding on to has become the jagged limbs of a beast. The matriarch's gentle face has disappeared under the water. They look at one another across the boundary between truth or lies. On her side of the line, the bell atop the Tower of Revelation rings clear as can be. I did figure you weren't as pretty as you looked early on. My imagination never prepared me for this. Not even Ancient Forge had anything this crazy looking as you. Don't diss Nyan's movies like that. I'm pretty sure the Nyan Kaiju in Ancient Forge could be as cool as whatever this grotesque, biblically accurate demon is. Well, at least I don't have to worry about ripping your arm off. My friends had to bust their butts to give me this chance. So get out of here already! You have no right to hide away in a dream. You have no right to hide in our Laterano! Cinema. And she has been dragged into the light, whatever the matriarch's true form is. The bells are tolling. Its unending peals echo across the entire city. It rings clear and steady, guiding stray souls towards it. Legend has it that after a long and arduous journey, the saints built the tower and used the ringing of its bell to ward off the devils. Then there rose the Lateran city, its walls of purest white standing fast against the elements, while the bells in the tower fell silent for millennia. Now it cries again once more, a scant 2 years since it last did.
So in response to a mixed blood Sancta girl's song.
Oh. Anduin. As a child? No, wait, no.
Senor Nurturer, are you hurt?
Don't move. It was hard enough getting you bandaged up.
He survived!
Patya.
This was the mysterious woman! I forgot there was also a resistance group. Among everything that happened, there was a resistance group that attempted to kidnap Anduin at the very start of this event. It's Patya. Meteon looking ass.
You were pretty much half dead by the time we got to the Shrine of Nurtury. We only had time to get you and these kids searching for you out of there.
Don't cry, Giselle. Romnya. It was just a nightmare. We're finally awake.
A nightmare? Wounds and nightmares don't follow you to real life.
Which means Amos is dead. No! If you die in the dream, you die in real life. Rip Amos.
Where are the other brothers and sisters?
Keeping watch nearby? Guess you finally got your memories back. What? Want to hear them call you guide again?
Sorry, Patya. It's clear you were just trying to wake a man who had lost his way again.
Brother, that's twice. You have so much to repent for. And considering that you have near playable character plot armor, you should become a playable operator sometime soon.
Why did you abandon the Pathfinders, Anduin? You rested in the wilds for a bit after leaving Sanctilaminium, Ambrosi. According to our original plan, we would have passed the Iberian border soon after, back to the land where you came from. Even after contact with the Inquisition, but then you disappeared all of a sudden.
He found the devil in the woods, and then the devil led him back to Laterano. Or more accurately, he led the devil back to Laterano. The demon, el demonio, la criatura.
That was when the dream began for me.
What do you mean?
It's just an idea, one without any evidence behind it. It told me to turn away, to cast aside all my plans, and return to Laterano.
So you're saying you never actually met that blind lady, and you didn't go back to Laterano with her for that baby's sake? Like you were enticed by something? Nugay. This is starting to sound like something a crackpot charlatan would say.
I know this is hard to understand. Even I don't fully get it.
I'll say, there's way too much hard to understand stuff at play here. You and that shrine, you wanted to plop halos on everybody's heads and turn us all into freaks that can't even decide what emotions to feel. Whatever, you managed to wake up yourself in the end. If you hadn't made such a ruckus by blowing up the nativity, all of Laterano would probably still be dreaming.
With the boundary between the two sides so blurred, his deeds in the dream should be taken into full account during the abjudication. Who is this? Oh, Executor.
Executor Federico of Notorial Hall. I've read your file, Anduin Agathangelos.
Aga? Is that your surname, Anduin?
After the chaos you caused during the first Summit of Nations, the Curia banished you from Laterano. Now you have returned in secret and were involved in plotting the so-called Nativity Ceremony. You are partially responsible for the current turmoil troubling the city. You must accept a joint investigation by the 1st, 5th, 6th, and 7th tribunals.
Look, man. Becoming a playable character has never stopped a war criminal from becoming an operator.
Can't you see that he's hurt real bad? Besides, I'm sure that you've got more important things to worry about right now.
Aurelia's here!
You need a hand, Executor. Get us into the city and we'll help you out. And you're... that? What is it, Nueda? Look over there!
Getting your patron firearm means that you've moved on to a new stage of your life, Elle. Yeah, come quick, sis. We're taking a photo in front of the statue. I need to go to Lungmen.
I need to get a proper explanation from Estima. Let's send Lemuel off on her next adventure with a bang. The passage of time will bind people together regardless of what they think about. As long as you live as your lives intertwine, at some point you'll have nothing to worry about. Safe travels home, Exia.
She feels herself moving, but she cannot open her eyes. Her back is cut by something rough, while her mind sinks into a bottomless softness, where even the pain running throughout her body is dulled. Her thoughts flow into a boundless ocean of faith. She opens her eyes. Hey, yo! That's wild! That's freaky deaky, dog!
You've awakened, child.
So that's her true form. That's what Executor found in the deep dark woods, or what found Executor. What found Anduin.
You were gravely wounded. Only by accompanying me will you stay lucid during the transfiguration. While it was you who caused this interruption, we will not abandon you. Much more as we once leaned on one another to traverse the devastation of catastrophe.
Hermit, you would? Based, actually. We're monster fuckers here on this channel. That is a 100% would.
Much as we've once leaned on one another to traverse the devastation of catastrophe. The transfiguration? Do you mean that dream?
I'm definitely awake, though. Why do you have a halo on your head?
What kind of monster are you? All Sanctas have halos, child. So that we could forget from whence we came. So that we could embrace our new lives. We named ourselves thusly. Thankfully, the passage of thousands of years has reshaped your appearances and ways of life.
She's Tikaz! Wait a minute! She's Tikaz! Meanwhile, flashback to the little story we had in IS-5 of the Tikaz, at least within the stories that we told in the furnace, having both the halos and the Tikaz features.
Perhaps you could follow these tome-bound accounts and call me Saint.
You're still mother in my eyes.
Of course, my flesh and spirit have both long become one with the soil beneath Laterano's white walls.
Wait, what?
What you see now is simply a snippet of code from his boundless program, a specter bearing countless memories.
Snippet of code from the Law's program?
As he sees it, the path of the Sancta began with the Saints, and so it should continue with the Saints, who should lead you beyond calamity and into the future.
I don't get a word of what you're saying.
Where exactly are you taking me? It is not a question of you and I, child, but of all Laterans.
Exia strains her neck backwards. She's way too calm about this. Also, this is sick. Hey, yo! That's a hard wood for me, dog. Hey, yo! We got legs for days. The monster that calls herself Saint cradles Exia, following close behind are Sancta, as well as haloed livery, felines, and a host of creatures the likes of which she has never seen before. It is a grand procession, meandering into the distance, its end far from sight. Exia can sense that these are no shambling husks. Their empathy is not faded. No, it is stronger than it has ever been. The faith of the countless masses has condensed into a vast sea. They follow behind the saint, to a destination clear in their minds. Not even the saint's travels wrote of a sight so bizarre.
Across millennia has he granted revelation to his chosen few, so that they may question, analyze, and deduce so that they may point Laterano in the right direction. But it would prove far too slow a process this time. He has never been this restless and uneasy, the master of all things awoken. Threats nip at our heels. He must carry out his original duty.
So it has been the law behind it all this time. And basically the Saint is his administrator carrying out this big plan. All because months ago, Priestess finally made herself known to the world of Terra. All of this started because Priestess's presence was finally felt, and the law was like, uh-oh, that's a world-ending threat right there. And behind her, an even greater world-ending threat that we're being cryptic about. First is the Originium apocalypse that we have to deal with by Priestess, and whatever she fears beyond that.
Because in this calculated future, there is no place for the Sancta. There is only time for him to directly impose what he has sensed on every one of us, to force the only solution he knows into being. An even more cohesive community of Sancta, Laterano as it should be.
Yeah, listening to all this makes my head feel like it's about to pop. Heaven's sake, all this he, him, his stuff. What are you even talking about?
We are on our way to meet him, the foundation of faith, the prime mover. Even the deepest nightmares pale in comparison to cruel reality, child. And with the collapse of the Transfiguration, I fear his actions have been noticed. There's not much time. Perhaps he and I know. Perhaps we still have time to ensure the future of the Sancta.
I don't know about the near future, but the long game seems to be fine considering there are Sancta in Enfield, so... Wingless Sancta in Enfield, to be specific.
A march, a migration, or perhaps a pilgrimage. A grand procession of newborn Sanctas traversing the streets of the Holy City with a vigor that Sancta have not had in centuries.
I'm gonna sneeze. I sneeze.
How should we describe such a sight?
What do you see, Aurelia?
There's halos on the street lamps, on the trees, the dessert carts, the confessionals. Am I hallucinating or is my scope fogged up?
There's halos on everything?
That is no hallucination. The Shrine of Nurturing still exists in reality. These iridescent projections originate from it. Where the pilgrims go, the projections follow. Where they fall, even inorganic matter will sprout halos. These projections are like a form of unliving executor, redefining Sancta in the name of the law all over.
That's not good. We don't need a bunch of missionaries spreading halos all across Terra to assimilate the world.
All this time we're told that whoever stains the purity of the Sancta shall be mercilessly cast out by the law.
And now it turns out the purest Sancta he is so favors are actually streetlights and trees.
Can't believe I'm starting to think my fall was a good thing. If that gaggle wants to redefine Sancta into something nobody can understand, I would have half a mind to leave them be. Don't worry, Executor. There's still some of them I want to kill. I agreed to help you fight, and I'll have that fight no matter what.
I am so sorry, Aurelia, that the person you want to have revenge on is a playable character. You're never gonna kill them.
It seems like they really do want to remodel the entire city.
If their aim is to remodel the city via the projections, then forming a mass of people is highly inefficient method. Yet they still choose to gather together, even after the dreams collapse. Perhaps spreading those projections around isn't the only way that they have. They must have an additional method in mind, In order to use it, they must reach a common endpoint.
The law!
If their aim is to turn all of Laterano on its head, I might know where they're headed. The Basilica. I had a discussion with Pope Evangelista there once, and I was able to glimpse certain entities, to realize some truths. You do not need to doubt me, Senor. I do not. Your file has already was signed and sealed by the Pope itself. I will bring you there, Anduin.
Hold on, Federico. The whole city's gone mad. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Why should we trust you? Hey, that's my line.
What you're concerned about is who shall hold authority of this situation. Considering nearly all present have violated the law to some degree, as an executor, I have the right to press you all into my temporary control. If it is the current calamity that is causing you panic and deprive yourselves of sound judgment or action, I, Federico Giallo, am the first saint from outside the ranks of the popes. I do not believe this title has any special meaning, but if you require a reason, there is none better. The procession will pass through here first as they move from the Shrine of Nurtury to the Basilica. Kef, or rather, the monster, has unusually strong empathy. Even the Bell of the Tower of Revelations can do nothing about her influence towards you. Patia, take the other Pathfinders and these Errari away from here. Go in the opposite direction.
You're staying by yourself.
Trust in me, my brothers and sisters. This is the path I must walk.
At least change out of those clothes. You look god-awful. Or do you like walking around with blood all over their robe?
I don't own many outfits, and I don't know where my old cassock's gone.
Here.
This. You kept it all this time.
Not like it took up much bag space. I don't know. It just felt like this wasn't something I should throw away. Go on. Take it.
Thank you, Patia, for all these many years. However, we must try to find shelter for these children who have just escaped the dream. Arturia, you and Anduin will require special supervision. I will keep the two of you within my sights at all times.
I haven't even said anything, Your Beatitude. Maybe you could leave the children to me? I may not be a Sancta or Lateran, but I am rather experienced in looking after children.
Very well. Move out.
And so the resistance have finally started moving. Meanwhile, Exia's just chilling with the saint.
The foundation of the Sancta. Sancta's future.
Do you not trust my words?
Why should I?
You have no reason to, true.
Much as how, when we first gained the name Sancta, we could never have imagined our community would become one of explosions and deserts after all these years. Halos, empathy, guns, walls of purest white. Do you believe the law innate, child? Do you believe the Sancta have always been unique in these ways?
Why would I doubt it?
You love it, as do I. Faith is shaped by the experiences of countless generations, the ravages of time, and the footprints of the teeming masses. It should not, must not, be swayed again by the first of the faithful. But once more do the people face down the crossroads of destiny. I have no choice but to do this. We have not sown lies, my child. We have merely hidden some truths, then allowed the rest to become inspirational tales and parables of saints. These texts tells of the devil's arrival, left all things desolate, and how none saw the light of the sun. But for the Sancta, they had radiance bestowed upon them by the law.
Right.
But the angels born from the devil's child, and as for this so-called bestowment, it was not but a chance encounter.
Flashback to ye olden times? Never mind. It was just a fade to black.
In that age, the king sent out his warriors to seek a new beginning for their people. In that age, monsters that crawled the earth longed for a homeland, and so were named Tikas, a race yet so young. In that age, hegemons who could command raging flames, blinding thunderbolts, wild winds, and frigid snow descended upon the land alongside their myriad servants, here to seize the Tikas' precious throne, precious home.
Yup, the Fahrenmits. Hold up. The king sent out warriors to seek a new beginning for their people. I'm assuming that's one of the Sarkaz kings. They were Tikas at first. The Fahrenmit descended.
The flames they threw could melt the skulls of Wendigos. The house gales they summoned could shatter the wings of gargoyles. Even if vampires sucked them dry, they would be reborn from eggs of fire.
Wow, okay. Those three Sarkaz races have been around since ye olden times. Wow, that would be like... Man, might be because I'm dead tired, but I can't get my imagination working at all. The Colossus cups the wounded Sancta in her hand, continuing onwards with a shambling yet steady gait. Her voice is as gentle as it was in her guise as the matriarch. And so she tells her ancient, unprovable tale like a saint who has stopped to rest her feet, taking the chance to preach to a stranger she met along the road. Exia knows she's not the only one hearing this story though. The winding procession follows, all while countless people pour in from every corner of the city, leaving the buildings painted iridescent, joining the ocean of faith.
I shall share the portion of the truth hidden from you, child. Once we arrive at the Basilica, the past will be made clear, and all shall know it. It is then that the term Sancta shall be redefined. The king's might could not slow the decline of the Tikas. His wary gaze scanned the lands for countless days and countless nights, before finally falling upon the ancient silver mounts. And so his warriors set forth, seeking out these never-before-seen argent mountains beneath the earth. With the language conferred onto them by the king, they would conquer them and command them to rout the foes of the Tikas. To grant the Tikas the chance to truly become those with a homeland. Before they left, the king took the blood of the burdened beast and anointed the head of every warrior with a crimson circle, symbolizing the mission they shouldered together. The warriors strode across the land, crossing the most barren wastes, where not even the hardiest of plants could take root, where not even the most tenacious of beasts could survive. But with their twisted limbs, did they aid one another. Not even the weakest of their number would be abandoned before they breathed their last.
This also ties in to what we recently learned in Chapter 15, in that the denizens of Terra were never humanoid to begin with. The Tikas, in their original forms, the Wendigos, the Gargoyles, the Vampire, they were never humanoid to begin with. It was Originium influencing the evolution of all life on Terra that led to the humanoid forms, because Originium kept the genetic information of both Oracle and Priestess's people. This is wild! We're filling in so many gaps of the true history of Terra. Holy shit.
For the king had taught them this: the kin shall not eat kin, kin shall aid kin.
What? Exia can barely believe what she is seeing. The scene unfolds before her in an extraordinary way, and the next second she catches a glimpse of the amazement spreading out across the sea of faces. There is no doubt, through empathy beyond empathy, the monster is sharing what she sees with all present.
Finally, after many days and nights, numbered beyond reckoning, they arrived at the edge of the great rift in the earth. And then they saw
the law. And those were the old TCAS forms.
There, floating above the floor of the valley, was a new beginning, one that should not exist in this desolate waste. The pale, petrified forms of plants and beasts dance among the mud, spinning about to some rhythm beyond ken. A string of boulders draws them along as they go, coming together to form a great ring. The fragments of the ring pulsated faintly with this light. At first they thought it was fire, but they sensed no heat, and it seemed untangible. In that age, the warriors of the TCAS knew that they had found the slumbering silver mounts.
They found the law.
In that age, the warriors encircled the ring. They attempted to call out to it, to appease it, to command it, to persuade it. They cried out until they could cry out no more, their throats hoarse and bleeding, but to no avail. The ring remained silent. They were trapped in that wasteland with no way forward, and no way back. Time passed until an ordinary TCAS could not stand it any longer, and stood up. She looked at her near-mad, emaciated companions, and realized they would all die of hunger and thirst before the silver mounts awoke from their slumber. Instinct overtook her. The stone lance in her hand pierced one of her dying fellows, and she began to devour her flesh. The TCAS had no fear of eating the flesh of other TCAS, but it was the Far Chaser, exiled for refusing to partake, who returned with the black crown and became their first king.
The Far Chaser. The first TCAS. Wait, what? Hold up. Returned with the black crown? They found the black crown from the law? So, what does this imply? Everyone that starved trying to awake the law died. No, cannibalized each other. The one TCAS, the Far Chaser, that didn't participate, came back with the black crown and became the first king. Either it's implied that the black crown came from the law, or something about the ritual activated the black crown or some shit.
Since then, eating our kin has become the strictest of taboos. But at that moment, one of the warriors handpicked by the king defied his ban without the slightest hesitation. Only through this act could she live. As for whether she lived so as to complete the mission they were entrusted with, that is a tale for another time.
What do you mean you're blue-balling us on the story? One of the warriors handpicked by the king defied his ban without the slightest hesitation. I'm guessing it's implying that this is a self-reflection story. We're talking about the saint here. So she was the one that first started the cannibalism, and she also made it out.
But at that time...
Oh. A strange noise comes from above her head. Exia, no, all the people behind the monster lift their heads. Together with the TCAS of history, they look towards the sky, welcoming the one fateful moment. They gained halos and wings. In an instant, the surfaces of the boulders within the ring begin to split and peel away, revealing a metal that glows with crimson light. In an instant, bright halos and wings of light sprout from the black bodies of each and every TCAS present. It is as though they have always been there, revealed from the dust with a swipe of the hand of the creator above. The warriors did not have the time to ponder this strange change.
as boundless vitality poured into their exhausted frames like a surging tide.
Okay. So all the TCAs that started starving, those who began cannibalism, did not get halos. Everyone that survived the fasting became Sancta. And the first king came out of it with a black crown. So was the black crown granted by the law?
With the greatest of joys did they touch one another and embrace one another like newborn babies.
Like, genuinely, it makes sense. Because the Black Crown, Amiya's powers, the recording function of the Black Crown and its ability is technically empathy. Like, the Black Crown's powers are technically the same as empathy. Amiya could reach into people's souls and feel them, and she could even affect souls externally herself.
She did not understand why it remained aloof to the words the king had imparted upon them to appease the Silver Mounts, yet deigned to respond the moment she ate of their kin flesh. Then comprehension dawned on her. Perhaps the metal would not respond to the king's dignified appeals, nor the pleas to smite their enemies. But rather, it answered the simplest and purest of ideas, a quiet prayer.
For survival.
Was that Tikaz you? The Silver Mounts are in Laterano? And you want to take everyone to go see them? Do you understand now, child? Before faith became faith, before the first brick of this paradise of tolerance, equality, mercy, and joy was laid, this is the origin of it all.
And lo and behold, the law. Return to start. Interactive simulation 26 complete. Prior emergency response mechanisms expired. New emergency response mechanism unmaterialized. Simulation result: failure. Has it been running simulations on how to avoid the oncoming calamity that Terra's about to face? Is that why we're just... Is this one of the plans, the contingency plans, to just spread the halos across Terra so that it could have better simulation results if it has full control over all the variables? Compulsory transfiguration of Laterano. Continuing operation. Oh my god, it's the Pope. Motherfucker, where have you been this whole time?
It's that vision again. Our discussion's gone right back to square one. Truth be told, I'd really like to head upstairs and enjoy some guava juice and ice cream cone, or at the very least take a nap on the sofa. I can barely feel my lips anymore, or my knees. How long has it been since you started acting oddly, and I rushed over to find a solution? What caused the calamity to speed up so? To the point that you needed to throw out all your emergency response mechanisms and instead force everyone to directly synchronize data with you. You forced Laterano to go through.
Yep, exactly. The law needed full control of all the variables, which is why it wanted to spread the halos to Laterano. And I don't think it would stop there, just at Laterano.
Such radical change. In time, the spiritual light of the Sancta will be stripped away. In time, will Laterano still be considered Laterano? The sitting Pope, Evangelista the 11th, requests a 27th interactive simulation.
What? Evangelista the 11th has refused to help bring the transfiguration to completion, now conferring judgment on requests for interactive simulation. Both of them have been behind this all along. Yeah, that we get. out of fear for the oncoming calamity, pushed forward down the line because of Priestess. Also, this fucking seal. And this thing.
These monsters. Neither Sancta nor the others at the Nativity can escape the influence of the Transfiguration's sudden termination. All I can do now is call everyone to my side and keep your mind steady and free of collapse, or we meet him.
Okay, no more conversions going on. It's just that we have to go see the law now.
As for those you call monsters, they too are Sanctas, and the law shelters them as well. They are newly born, pious and plain. They will aid the people in sweeping away all the obstacles along the path. This path will take us past the Tower of Revelations in Pagus Ecclesia, past the Notorial Hall and Gunsmithies in Pagus Michaelium, past the Sunset Chapel in Pagus St. Marcel, before finally arriving at the Basilica. This route, a familiar one, yes. It is the order the street lamps light up as night falls on Laterano. He has laid out the most convenient path for us. And so I beg you sleep a while, child. We will have arrived once you awake, and there we shall rekindle hope for the continuation of our race.
Uh-oh. Exia's getting kidnapped.
I see now. You have been looking for an opportunity ever since you awoke.
To escape.
You are still unwilling to accept it. The tales we left behind became the chains that bound later generations. The texts that speak of the majesty of the saints and the ugliness of the devils have been etched deep into your hearts. You need only witness my continence to raise your gun against me. No matter, child. You will come to understand who is named hero and who is named monster, who is named kin and who is named alienus. You shall understand. You all shall.
I fell? That's a really nasty feeling. Oh shit! She shot... Wait. If she shot the matriarch and she fell, that would also imply that Lemwen also fell when she shot her. Awesome. Never thought that there'd be a way to turn that light out. I don't know. I'm going to miss it later. But right now it's not too bad having it off. My head's a lot clearer and now I don't have to deal with all your emotions. Empathy off.
Clear? No, child. Even though you now know my history, the history of our race, you still wish to make an enemy of me. How can you consider your mind clear?
What can I say? It's clearer than ever. You say I've been trapped by those dusty old books you left behind, but they never said anything about having to listen to your old ancient beatitude ideas. I've been listening to you go on and on for ages already. Did you ever plan on asking us what we think? The good news is the monsters chasing us have retreated. Bad news is they're joining that weird procession over there. Good thing we talked to Edita into staying somewhere safe. Will Exia be able to handle herself, Doctor? I believe in her. The procession is heading straight for the machine. That monster really looks familiar for some reason. No matter how much she changes herself to look like a living thing, I can tell she's just a program. Yeah, she's the admin. She's the admin of the whole simulation. She's just a recreation of the first saint. The collapse of the dream must have cut off her connection with the machine, and as a program, all she could do is try to reestablish that connection, restart the dream. Passing that field of irises a minute ago, I saw halos blooming above the flowers, one after another. That's completely unprecedented. The goal of that machine and that program is more extreme than we thought. Everything, organic, inorganic, will be defined as Sancta. I just realized, she has a mood keychain that tells her emotions. This thing's crazier than when PRTS went haywire. This gives us an opportunity. Can you figure out any weak points, monster?
Not on my own, but Kelsey should have had some understanding of that machine. Can we find a way if we search Kelsey's memories? Kelsey. Ever since it all went down, you've been avoiding saying her name to me, Doctor. In any case, thanks for putting your trust in me. Amiya was so worried before we left. Never mind, at least I managed to get a decent amount of this operation. That machine is special, Doctor. We've tried to approach it in the past, but the more the law of Laterano was gradually refined, the more difficult it became to try and figure out its nature. Kelsey did come up with a plan, but even she admitted it was too daring.
So what was the plan? Kelsey had a contingency plan.
It's a really crude one. She never let me do it before. But my nature does give me a talent that ordinary people lack, to some extent. Of course, we should also thank our creator's open-minded attitude towards technology exchange. Oh, okay. This is the first time I'm trying this.
What? Technology exchange?
Stand back a bit, Doctor.
Routing through city communication post backdoor access port. Special privileges AMA-10. Temporary access credentials. El Cairo 001. Oracle. Decoding complete. Authentication. Passed. Yeah, we had back-end access all along. Connected to the PCS system. Syncing computational radiation link. Updating permission log. If it wants to speed up the changes happening across Laterano, it'll have to remove all of its underlying restrictions and break through the computational limits over and over. Which means that machine should left itself wide open to me. It won't have the time to limit my actions. Uh-oh. Monster! I'm trying to stop it. No, I'm not in control of the process anymore. Oh. Oh. The flow of information does not come rushing in as you imagine. The clamor of computation has faded away at some point. You and Monster feel a peculiar feeling wash over the both of you. You seem to have stopped at the fork in the road. An old friend appears. Has she been walking alongside you the whole time? Or is it a chance encounter? In short, you see her. Fuck me, man. Oh, who called your ass here? Great. I mean, if there's anyone to ask about all of this, the color begins to drain out of your surroundings. It is as if time stands still. This is the stage built for your reunion.
Thank you for your hard work, MA-10. We meet again, Doctor. Our reunion has come much sooner than I imagined, just as I had hoped.
Ah, great. That's a fade to black right there. That's a cliffhanger. Fuck you, game. Alright. Alright. That's where we're ending it today. We're gonna wrap up the finale of this event on Saturday. On Thursday, we are going to be doing EX stages and S stages for the Masses Travels. That'll be that for now. Hello, Darkstar, you came at the end of the stream. So far, we've broken the illusion, the Genjutsu. However, Exia's in kind of a bind. She's stuck with the procession that's headed all the way to the law. What's gonna happen? Why is Exia Altered called the New Covenant? Guess we'll find out. Anyway, thank you to everyone to stop by, chilled out in chat, use as a second monitor content, and watch us read and react through the Masses Travels. We will wrap up the story and finale this Saturday, same time, same place. But until then, my name is Nez and thanks for watching. I'm gonna see you friendos next time. Bye-bye.